A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
This, I believe. Pitirim Sorokin was born in Russia. He was self-educated and became a professor of law and sociology at the University of St. Petersburg. A member of the Kerensky government in Russia, he was banished by the communist government in 1922. He became chairman of the Department of Sociology at Harvard University in 1930 and is now the director of the Harvard Research Center in Creative Altruism. A prolific writer, he has published some 38 volumes. Here now is Professor Sorokin.
In 1918, I was hunted from pillar to post by communist government. Finally, I was imprisoned and condemned to death. Daily, during 6 weeks, I expected to be shot and witness shooting of my friends and fellow prisoners. During the subsequent 4 years of my stay in communist Russia, I underwent many painful experiences and observed, to the heartbreaking point, endless horrors of human bestiality and a hurricane of death and destruction. Exactly in these conditions, I jotted down in my diary the following observations of a cold intellect and plaintive murmurs of a saddened heart. To quote, "Whatever may happen in the future, I know that I have learned 3 things, which will remain forever, conviction of my heart as well as my mind. First, life, even the hardest life, is the most beautiful, wonderful, and miraculous treasure in the world. Fulfillment of duty is another marvelous thing, making life happy. This is my second conviction. And my third is that cruelty, hatred, violence, and injustice never can and never will be able to create a mental, moral, or material millennium. The only way toward it is the royal road of all giving creative love, not only preached, but consistently practiced." Some 30 years passed after these lines were jotted down. The tragic events of these years, as well as my scientific studies, immeasurably reinforced these beliefs and led me even to the establishment of the Harvard Research Center in Creative Altruism. Now more than ever before, I believe in the following truth, fully confirmed by our experimental studies. Hate begets hate. Violence engenders violence. Hypocrisy is answered by hypocrisy. War generates war, and love creates love. Unselfish love has enormous creative and therapeutic potentialities, far greater than most of the people think. Love is a life-giving force necessary for physical, mental, and moral health. Altruistic persons live longer than egoistic individuals. Children deprived of love tend to become vitally, morally, and socially defective. Love is the most powerful antidote against criminal, morbid, and suicidal tendencies, against hate, fear, and psychoneuroses. It is an indispensable condition for deep and lasting happiness. It is goodness and freedom at their best. It is the finest and most powerful educational force for the ennoblement of humanity. Finally, only the power of unbounded love, practiced in regard to all human beings, can defeat the forces of interhuman strife and can prevent the pending extermination of man by man on this planet. Without love, no armament, no war, no diplomatic machinations, no coercive police force, no economic or political measures, even no hydrogenic bombs can prevent the pending catastrophe. Only love can accomplish this miracle.
That was Pitirim A. Sorokin, sociologist and director of the Harvard Research Center in Creative Altruism.
Good evening. This is Ken Roberts inviting you to listen to another adventure of Casey, crime photographer. Ace cameraman who covers the crime news of a great city. Our adventure for tonight, The Fire. Morning. The first faint glow of dawn is lighting the sky. Inside a small, cheaply furnished apartment in a shabby old-fashioned building glows the more sinister light of fast-spreading flame. Outside its locked door, firemen swing their axes and...
The blaze is in that corner, Ed.
We may kill it with a hand extinguisher, Chief.
I think we can. Get into the bedroom, Joe. Anyone sleeping there's probably overcome.
I'll attend to him.
Chemicals over there, boys. We'll soon have this one licked.
Yeah, but not if we'd gotten the alarm a minute later.
You're right, Ed. This could have been a racer.
Chief!
What is it, Joe?
Come here. Take a look.
Where?
Lying half under the bed. This guy.
Oh, smoke got him.
Smoke don't make a guy's head all bloody.
Who? His skull's been crushed.
Yeah, that's what did it. That iron bar on the floor beside him.
Hey, Joe, this man's been murdered.
According to the medical examiner, Miss Williams, this guy was bumped off about 11 o'clock last night.
Well, then he'd been dead all around 7 hours when the firemen found him, Captain Logan.
Yeah, that's right. After the killer socked him with that hunk of iron, he proceeded to give this two-room kitchenette and bath a real going over.
Yeah. Then he found what he'd been looking for and started the fire and beat it.
That's the way it sizes up, Casey.
He started the fire, of course, hoping to cover up his murder and search of the place.
Oh, he started the fire in a pile of photographic film, Casey. You know how that stuff will spread ablaze.
Yeah, and how? I was looking at the few bits of film that weren't burned, old negatives, apparently. That guy seems to have gone in for photography in a big way. A lot of equipment in his kitchenette, enlargers, tanks, good stuff.
So my tech man tell me.
Have you found any lead to the killer, Captain Logan?
None so far, Miss Williams.
What could the killer have been searching for?
That's a payoff question.
What have you found out about the dead guy, pal?
Not much. All I could learn here was his name was Henry Milton, a quiet guy who kept to himself and held some kind of office job with the C.J. Winber Company. I'm going to the Winber factory as soon as its offices open at 9 o'clock and try to get a real lowdown on the guy.
Good. Eddie and I'll go with you.
Yes, we'd like to know more about Mr. Henry Milton.
I'm shocked, deeply shocked to hear about the tragic death of poor, Hilton, Sergeant Logan.
Milton was the man's name, Mr. Winber, and mine's Logan, Captain Logan.
Oh, yes, to be sure, Logan, yes. Good, faithful old Milton.
I'd like you to tell me all you can about this man.
Yes. Well, I think perhaps I'd better turn you over to my executive vice president. He keeps in slightly closer touch with details and personnel than I do. Oh, not that I'm unfamiliar with the people who work for me, Captain. I regard them all as partners and close friends, but,
You rang, Mr. Winber?
Yes, Purvis. Tell Mr. Haywood I want to see him.
Yes, sir.
Just a minute. Has there been any news of Crowley yet?
No, sir.
Well, don't neglect to inform me at once if any message is received.
You'll be told immediately, Mr. Winber.
Yes, that's all. Get Haywood.
Yes, sir.
Now, Captain, as a policeman, you might give me a bit of advice.
Yeah?
You see, my cashier, a chap named Crowley, went away on a 2-week vacation 16 days ago. He was due back at his desk day before yesterday, but he hasn't appeared. And nobody in the plant here or at his home has received even so much as a postal card from him since he left. Now, do you think I have reason for concern?
If he was my cashier, I'd feel concerned. Have you investigated the books?
Not yet, but...
You better have an audit done on those books right away. Your man is bonded, of course.
Oh, yes, the firm will face no loss, but I pride myself on my judgment of character, and it would be a sad blow. Oh, you're here, Haywood.
Yes, C.J.?
This gentleman is Captain Logan of the police.
Police?
Yes, this is Mr. Haywood, my executive vice president, Captain.
How do you do?
Nice to know you, Captain.
And that lady and gentleman over there, will you introduce them, Captain?
Miss Williams, Mr. Hayward, and Mr. Casey. They're on the Morning Express.
How do you do, Mr. Haywood?
How are you?
A pleasure. Policemen and newspaper people. This must mean that you've got bad news about Crowley, C.J. Unpleasant news.
No, this gentleman and lady are here about a murder.
Murder?
A man employed in your offices was killed last night and his body discovered early this morning. A man named Milton.
Not Henry Milton.
That's the name.
Yes, poor old Henry. He was in our sales department, Haywood.
He was a bookkeeper, C.J., third assistant in Crowley's department.
Oh, yes. Well, that's what I meant.
How was he murdered, Captain? Tell me.
Will you excuse me, as Captain Logan has already told me the distressing news and I have other things to do? You won't mind.
Go ahead, Mr. Winburn.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure meeting you, Miss...
William.
Yes, of course. And you, Mr...
Casey.
Oh, yes, quite so, yes. Please call on me when I can give you some more assistance, Captain. I'm always ready to help.
Thanks.
Good morning to you all. Good morning.
Well, now maybe we'll find out something, Casey.
About time.
I heard your comment, Miss Williams. Evidently you haven't had a very illuminating interview with Mr. Winburn.
Mr. Haywood, it was a total blackout.
That guy must have inherited this big outfit. Huh?
He did, from his father. Oh, don't misunderstand him. C.J. is a grand fellow, very shrewd in his way. He simply doesn't keep in touch with many things that... Those things are my job. Tell me about Henry Milton, Captain.
I came here to be told things about him, Mr. Haywood. How long did he work for this firm?
Well, I'd say offhand, at least 6 years. He was an excellent bookkeeper.
What do you know about him personally?
Only that he was a bachelor, without any apparent vices. He was a quiet fellow who kept to himself. And, I'll be surprised if anybody here can tell you much more.
I'd like to speak to some of the other people in his department.
Yes, sir?
Send them in here one by one, and without any knowledge of his murder or my purpose.
Very well. Excuse me.
I'm afraid we're not going to get very much here, Casey.
Yeah, it seems this Milton was a kind of mystery man.
Oh, Casey, did you notice the gorgeous diamond that Mr. Haywood wears on his finger?
Quite a ring, isn't it, Annie?
Yeah, I must have turned a delicate shade of envious lettuce green when I saw it. It's 4 carats at least. A beautiful engagement size.
Yeah, Casey, why don't you buy your girlfriend a little piece of ice like that?
Why don't I also buy a yacht and a country estate? But Haywood doesn't flash the only big headlight in this joint. The one C.J. Winburn had on his finger wasn't broken off any bottle.
Mr. Winburn wore a diamond ring?
Yeah. Did you notice it, Annie?
Well, no.
I didn't either.
Huh. I don't know how you could have missed it. Oh, well, come to think of it, though, he turned the stone around to the inside of his hand while you were introducing yourself, Logan. Guess he's one of those nervous guys who fiddle with things they wear.
I brought you our head bookkeeper, Captain Logan.
Fine, Mr. Haywood. Now we can get back to business.
Hop in the car, Annie.
Mm-hmm, with pleasure. Well, time we've spent in the Winburn plant's been a dead loss, Casey.
Yeah, nobody knows anything about that guy Milton at all, except that nobody liked him.
Which doesn't give Captain Logan much to work on.
Well, we might as well enjoy the scenery, eh?
What scenery? The factories on that side or the billboards on this side?
This becomes a nice old country road after we round the curve just ahead, kid. Yep, we'll see spring busting out all over.
Oh, I'm too tired to look at it. You know, someday I'm going to quit this newspaper racket and get married and live like a human being.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Pick the guy?
I'll take the first one who slips a diamond on my finger. And it doesn't have to be the size of Mr. Haywood. Anything that shines just a little bit will do.
Oh.
So whoever gives it to me won't have to be in the country estate class.
You mean, that leaves the field wide open, huh?
Yeah.
Well, personally, I got no use for diamonds.
You wouldn't.
You take my advice, kid, and hold out for a country estate. There, now you can look at some real scenery, Annie. Look down there on that valley below us, huh?
So what?
So it's nature in her fairest aspects. Budding trees, new grass, birds.
And bees.
Hey, nature pulled a sneak play there. Look at that. There's been a landslide.
Part of the hill took a trip down to the valley.
Must have happened very recently. I was along this road only a month or so ago. I ought to stop and ask that old guy sitting on the fence.
I want to get back to the office, Casey, and then home. What do we care about an old...
The slides messed up a view I've often enjoyed, Annie. Hey, Pop.
Speaking to me, young feller?
Yeah. When did this landslide happen?
Just a little over 2 weeks ago. During that raining spell we had.
Rain did it, huh?
Yeah, I imagine so. It happened during the night, so nobody knows.
How far did it slide?
Quite a spell.
far as that, huh?
Yeah, maybe a little further. I figure rain loosened the ground under a big rock it was here. And when the rock started to roll, it carried part of the hill along.
You mean the big white rock that looked like a warty cucumber?
That's the one.
Yeah, it's a wonder that old cucumber rock didn't do a Brody long time ago, eh? It was only sort of balanced there.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
I've been telling folks for years it was going to fall someday and take half the hillside with it. I always said, let a strong man stick a 8-foot crowbar under that there rock in the right place, give a healthy heave, and over she'd go. No man ever tried it, but the rain proved my point.
Sure did, Pop.
Well, let's get along, Casey.
Oh, okay, Ann. Well, thanks, Pop. So long.
So long, young fella. Good luck to you and your missus.
I'm not his missus. I'm not even a friend.
Well, Annie.
I hate men who have no use for diamonds.
Now, as you was saying, Casey, before I had to wait on that customer.
Wasn't saying anything, Ethelbert.
Well, you was going to say something, wasn't you? You ain't going to just hang over this bar and not talk.
Got nothing to talk about.
How about the Milton murder? Have the cops learned anything new since yesterday morning that...
No.
Where's Miss Williams?
No. Well, the office, I guess.
She, sore at you?
Well, if you must know, yes.
What was she sore about?
I don't. Oh, women. Women. You never let a guy understand them, Ethelbert. You think they're kidding about something. Like something like diamond rings, for instance. And then you kid back. Find yourself in the soup.
I don't pretend to know much about women, Casey, but, if perchance it was diamond engagement rings you tried to kid about, I have learned that ain't a safe subject with the unfair sex. Us bachelors are natural prey for the female of the species, and all women are wolves.
Is that so?
Ann.
Huh? Oh, Miss Williams, I didn't see you come in.
Oh, that was evident. And how are you, Casey?
Why,
I haven't seen much of you since yesterday.
Well, I've been around.
Oh, have you? Guess I didn't notice.
Ann, about yesterday.
Oh, yeah, the Milton murder. I suppose you talked to Captain Logan today. Is there anything new?
No, look, kid, what I started to say is...
I just got some news from the city desk. It has no real bearing on the Milton case, but...
I don't care anything about the Milton case. I'm trying to tell you
I'm sure you'd like to hear this.
Well, I don't want
That
to...
missing cashier at the Wimber plant. They just found out that he embezzled at least $100,000 from the firm before he left.
Well, so what... He did?
Uh-huh. And C.J. Wimber and his bonding company have just called the cops to start a search for him.
The guy's got over 2 weeks' start.
Now, what was the matter that you wanted to talk about?
2 crimes connected with a Wimber outfit.
I asked you
embezzlement and murder. Starting at the same point and becoming evident at almost the same time.
Casey, you started.
Ann, I got a hunch.
Oh, no. Not one of those things.
Yeah.
Don't keep us in suspense.
Look, we figured that Milton's killer found what he was after in that apartment. Well, maybe we figured wrong.
Continue, Superman.
Oh, come on. Cut the rough stuff, will you, Ann?
Why, what do you mean?
Tell me your idea, Casey. I'm interested.
You're okay, pal. I'll tell you what. It looks to me now as though the killer started that fire because he'd searched all night without finding what he was after. He started the fire not to cover his traces, but to destroy the thing he couldn't find.
Hey, you may be right.
Yeah. Well, I'll try to prove I'm right now, tonight. So long, Ann. I'm going to Milton's burned out.
Hey, wait a minute, Casey. Casey, wait for me.
Close this door.
Dark in here. Someday you're going to get into trouble for opening doors that you have no right to open.
The cops expected to keep people out of Milton's apartment. They should have done a better patch-up job on the door. The fireman busted down.
You know, I expected a cop to be on guard out there.
So did I. Homicide guys went over this joint so thoroughly, I guess Logan figured there was nothing to guard here.
Well, they went over it so thoroughly that I can't imagine us finding anything that they missed.
They didn't know what they were looking for.
Do you?
Not exactly. Now, never mind. Don't waste time talking. Now, let's see. Cops and the killer didn't search where?
How about the plumbing?
Hiding stuff in pipes and sink traps. An old gag. You can bet Logan's guys used their wrenches here.
Seems to me they and the killer didn't overlook any possible hiding place.
I think they did, Annie. Annie, look, the fire didn't reach this bedroom. And the curtain on this window's still in place.
Well, nothing could be hidden in that curtain. It's net. We can see right through it.
Yeah, sure, but the metal rod it hangs on is hollow.
Hey, that's so.
Well, let's see, anyway. Tubing isn't even fully closed in the back. It's an extension rod, see? I'm going to pull it apart. Annie!
What? You found something?
Look.
What is it?
It's film. Rolled up film.
The roll's no bigger than a cigarette.
Stuck in the end of the inside rod. Where do I unroll it? It's negatives. 35-millimeter negatives. 4, 5, 6 of them.
What are the pictures on them?
What can I tell in here? We'll take them out in the hall where there's light.
Casey! Who are you? No! Don't hit me with that! Oh!
You're all right, Annie? Are you really okay?
Yeah, Casey. How about you?
Yeah, I'm all right, I guess.
Who's the man who hit us?
The guy who killed Milton. He came back here to go on with his search. When he saw us find what he was after, he went into action.
And good. Did he get the films, Casey?
Yeah. Oh, but when I came to, I found this little torn piece of negative in my hand, Annie. Guess I had a death grip on that one, huh?
Oh, is there anything on that fragment?
Let me see. Yeah, there's something on it.
Yeah. A big black shape, and isn't that a hand showing there?
A closed fist. What good will that do us?
Yeah. Well, in case you can enlarge it.
Wait a minute.
What?
This big shape in back of the fist. I've seen that before, that shape.
Oh, what is it?
Can't place it. It's something familiar. Wait a minute. I got it now. That's the warty cucumber.
Warty cucumber?
The rock, the big balanced rock that caused the landslide. Come on, kid. We're going back to the office where I can blow this thing up and be sure. Look at this blow-up, Annie. It shows the big cucumber rock and plenty more.
What more?
The hand. It isn't simply a closed fist. It's wrapped around a crowbar.
Crowbar? Well, Casey,
you'll get it all in a minute. Look, what do you see on the hand in this picture?
A ring.
Except for the big stone that may be a diamond.
Yes.
And we've met two guys who wear big rings like that.
Haywood and C.J. Winber.
Either Haywood or Winber murdered Milton. And another guy.
Another guy?
Uh-huh. And either Haywood or Winber socked you and me just a little while ago.
And I'm not forgetting that. But which one?
Early tomorrow morning. You and I and Logan will go to the Winber factory and find out.
I suppose, Captain, that you've come to see us about the distressing disappearance of Mr. Crowley, my former cashier.
I don't handle embezzlement cases, Mr. Winburn. I'm strictly a homicide cop.
Well, then you're continuing your inquiry about the murder of poor Milton?
About the murder of Milton and your cashier, Crowley.
What? Well, Crowley hasn't been murdered that anyone knows of.
One person knows of it. The guy who did the killing.
I say, what?
That's a nice diamond ring you wear, Mr. Winburn.
Did I... Captain, how can you turn the subject to rings immediately after you mention murder?
Murder to Logan, Mr. Winber, is simply a matter of business. Your ring interests him because he didn't notice it when we were here before. You had the diamond turned inwards.
Yeah, for some reason you got it out of sight when I introduced myself as a cop.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
But for no reason, maybe, you haven't bothered to hide it today.
Now, will you gentlemen please tell me what you're driving at?
You sent for me, C.J.? Oh.
Sit down, Mr. Haywood, and join our party.
Thanks. I didn't expect to find you here, Captain. It's a pleasant surprise. Good morning, Miss Williams. Casey?
Good morning.
Have a good night's sleep, Haywood?
Why, yes. Fine, thank you.
I didn't. Neither did Miss Williams.
We had headaches.
I'm sorry.
How did you sleep, Mr. Winber?
I always sleep well. And now I'd like to know why you're...
I'm going to tell you with Logan's permission.
Shoot, pal.
Well, some time ago, one of the big shots in this company started to steal money from us. And he covered his thefts by doctoring the books. That sort of thing was bound to be discovered, of course, eventually. And Mr. Big Shot planned to cover himself by shifting the blame to an honest cashier.
Mr. Casey?
Your cashier was going away on a vacation, Mr. Winber. And on the night before he was to leave, Mr. Big Executive, on some phony pretext, got him to the top of a hill not far from here and pushed him over the steep edge.
You mean Crowley?
Yes, Mr. Haywood. Then this Mr. Big Shot, who had a crowbar handy, pried several tons of balanced rock off its perch, causing a landslide that buried Crowley very, very deep.
And how do you bring Milton into this, Mr. Casey?
Milton was a bookkeeper, Mr. Winber. He'd gotten wise to both the embezzlement and the embezzler. And he decided to cash in on what he knew. He began trailing this executive and sneaking pictures of him, very incriminating pictures. One of them actually caught the guy tipping over the balanced rock. Finally, he showed prints of his pictures to Mr. Big Shot and told him to come across with heavy dough, or else...
Milton tried to blackmail this Big Shot.
Exactly, Mr. Haywood. The Big Shot then killed him, took the prints, and did his best to find the negatives that they'd been made from. But failing that, he tried to burn the negatives by setting fire to the place. But the fire company reached Milton's apartment before the blaze had done much damage. Well, I managed to find the negatives, and he got them away from me. But he left a little piece of one of the negatives in my hand that's going to send him to the chair.
And who is this man, Mr. Casey?
The guy who wears a swell diamond ring, Mr. Winber.
Good heavens, you don't think that I...
No. You wore your ring today, but the guy who left that piece of negative in my hand last night knew that a ring might help to nail him. You're not wearing your diamond, Haywood.
No. But I have a gun. Haywood, don't make a move, Captain. Or any of you.
Haywood, you...
I'm the man Casey's accusing, C.J. I don't know whether he can back up his accusation, but I'm taking no chances. I'm getting out of here, and no one's going to stop me.
Is that so?
Anne.
Miss Williams.
Well, he hit me on the head last night, didn't he?
Yeah, but how?
This guy's out cold, and all you hit him with is that little handbag.
This little handbag has half a brick in it.
Half a brick?
I put it in there this morning just hoping I'd get a chance like this.
Logan, the female of the species
is more deadly than the male.
So now you're a KO artist, huh, Miss Williams?
Haywood didn't come to till he reached the old jail.
Well, I only gave him half of what's coming to him.
Has he owned up that he killed that cashier and Milton?
Mm-hmm. After a bulldozer went to work on that landslide this morning and uncovered the cashier's body.
Miss Williams, that's a swell ring on your finger. Where did...
Ask Casey.
Well, you see, it was C.J. Winber's ring. He wanted me to have it as a reward for trapping Haywood, but, of course, I got no use for diamonds, so...
So, Mr. Winber gave it to me.
It kind of looks like a engagement ring.
Well, it isn't.
Annie, I priced a beautiful little house today, way out in the country.
A house. Oh, way out in the country. Well?
I couldn't afford it.
I'm going home. Good night.
Well, wait a minute, Annie. Annie, wait for me.
I don't blame her. Who'd want to live way out in the country?
This adventure of crime photographer starring Stott Cotsworth as Casey came to you through the worldwide facilities of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service, the voice of information and education.
This I believe. The latest Who's Who lists him as an editor and author. Quentin Reynolds, who wrote Courtroom, the best-selling biography of Judge Samuel Leibowitz, is also a composer of movie scripts, a celebrity on television, and an authority on the Brooklyn Dodgers and the hamburger sandwich. Moreover, he is one of the biggest, burliest, most soft-hearted Irishmen in the city of New York, and that covers a lot of Irishmen. He has an abiding affection for people, and he looks with a jaundiced eye on practically nobody, except stuffed shirts and bullies. He saw Hitler's rise in Germany, watched the Nazi bombs fall on Britain, and has witnessed firsthand the way in which the Russians expanded their dark power after the war. Here is Quint Reynolds, with his views on the things that mean most in the personal pattern of his life.
If I were a dictator, the first book I'd burn would be the Bible. I'd burn it because I'd realized that the whole concept of democracy came out of this book. Democracy is a Greek word which means rule by the people. But even at the height of its ancient glory, Athens was never a democracy. The Greeks gave us the word for it, but the Bible gave us the philosophy and the way of life which we call democracy. Remember the story of young David, the shepherd boy, as told in the book of Samuel? David came to the sorely pressed army of Israel, bringing supplies to his brothers. For 40 days, the arrogant Goliath, champion of the Philistines, had challenged any single man of Israel to combat, but none had been able to prevail against him. Young David asked permission of King Saul to try his luck. There was no other volunteer, so Saul accepted his services. And Saul fitted David out in his own armor, his own coat of mail and helmet of brass, and gave him a huge, sharp sword. But this heavy array of armor and weapons didn't fit the shepherd boy, and he had the good sense to know it. He dropped the sword and slipped out of the heavy armor. The one weapon he knew how to use was the slingshot. So choosing 5 smooth stones from a brook, he advanced upon Goliath and slew him. David and Saul's armor meant defeat. David fighting his own way and with weapons he knew meant victory. Young David was an individualist, in a real sense, a nonconformer, for he refused to use the traditional weapons. And wise King Saul did not confuse conformity and loyalty. Nor did the Savior. When Jesus chose 12 men to be with him and to carry on his mission after he was gone, he didn't select a group of rubber stamps. It was Peter the impetuous, Andrew the plodder, John the poet, Simon the fiery zealot, Thomas the melancholy. They were not stereotyped yes-men. He put a premium on their infinite variety. They were united by their very differences. He encouraged them to question his most fundamental beliefs. And in open discussion, their doubts were resolved and their faith strengthened. You don't have to read political science or study constitutional law to understand democracy, or to realize that when individuality is suppressed, society suffers. When originality is thwarted, progress is halted. You only have to read the Bible to properly understand democracy. Let Saul have his heavy armor if he wishes, and let David have his slingshot and his 5 smooth stones. Let each of us be as impetuous as Peter or as slow and plodding as Andrew. From the viewpoint of a dictator who can rule only as long as individual thoughts, ideas, and conduct are suppressed, these are dangerous thoughts to be lurking in the minds of men. Yes, if I were a dictator, the first book I'd burn would be the Bible.
You have heard Quentin Reynolds, a reporter colleague of mine who doesn't like to see people pushed around, and who has a liking in this atomic age for some good old-fashioned beliefs.
Crime does not pay.
Silly, I'm going out.
This time of night? What for?
The fire is near here.
You and your fires. What are you, a little boy? Stop chasing fire engines. Grow up.
That was my mistake, growing up.
Of all the silly things to say.
Silly, that... What else is there to do for excitement?
I could mention a few things, like taking your wife out, for instance.
I mean real excitement. Action. Like the ladders going up, the hoses dragged up the fire escapes,
People jumping into nets. All the bells, the sirens. Oh, what's the use? They're coming back already. A small fire. Someday there's going to be a real fire in this neighborhood. A real fire.
Nick, stop it. When you talk like that, you frighten me.
In the interest of good citizenship and law enforcement, we present Crime Does Not Pay, based on the famous Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer series of short subjects. In just a moment, you will hear Gasoline Cocktail, starring Bela Lugosi. Now, Crime Does Not Pay, starring Bela Lugosi as Nick Sagadin in Gasoline Cocktail. Sometimes the trouble begins out of sheer frustration. The need for excitement, the need to blow off steam, can cause a man's mind to work in devious ways. There's the thrill holdup, the beating administered more to the world at large than to the immediate victim. The theft for the sake of the dare it represents. With Nick Sagadin, it was the lighted match, the licking flame, and of course the roar and scream of the fire engines racing through the city streets.
Two lines in the front door. Line up 74 and 56 engines. There's pipes standing by.
Third floor's gone, Chief.
All right. Pull out the men from 25 foot. Denny, turn in the second. This one's too hot for us to handle without help.
Yes, sir.
Chief, the 6th Battalion ordered me to report to you, sir. We're 22 truck.
22 truck. When did you get here?
First due on the 2nd.
All right, I'm releasing you. Go back to quarters.
Yes, sir.
Driver, notify dispatcher. All second alarm equipment released and sent back to quarters.
Well, Chief, almost had yourself a nasty one, didn't you?
Oh, Warren. Well, how's the fire marshal's business?
Still doing things with magnifying glasses?
Microscopes these days. I see you had 3 boys hurt.
Well, nothing too bad. Punctured hand, cut cheek. We were lucky this time. The stairwell was like a chimney. Fire mushroomed up onto the 3rd floor. Took 6 women down the ladders. You find anything yet?
Well, looks like the usual. Baby carriage full of trash under the stairs. Cigarette, match, boom. I'll see you around, Chief.
Right, Warren. Chances are you will.
I beg your pardon, sir. You are the fire marshal?
Yes. How'd you know?
I've seen the car in which you came to the fire. Since I was a boy in Hungary, I followed the fires.
I guess boys are boys all over the world.
Yes, all over. But I wish to know, have you found out how this started?
You found out where it started? Why do you want to know?
Oh, it's just that I'm interested in these things. And this is a bad one.
Bad isn't the word for it. We're just lucky no life was lost.
Yes, very lucky indeed. Thank you very much. If people only were more careful where they throw matches.
Sylvie, I'm going out.
This time of night? What for?
The fire is near here.
You and your fires. What are you, a little boy? Stop chasing fire engines. Grow up.
That was my mistake, growing up.
Of all the silly things to say.
Silly, is it? What else is there to do for excitement?
I could mention a few things, like taking your wife out, for instance.
In the old days in Budapest, you ran after the engines with me.
Now I wish I hadn't.
There was excitement then. Now what? A job to go to. With men I would not care to look at. Then back to this house
Day after day, night after night.
No, Nick, not night after night. And even though you don't care to look at the men, you look at a girl, all right.
Sylvia, this is...
I know her name, Edna Hall, and her address, 5546 Erie Street. Yes, I know. But if you think, Nicholas Segadin, that I let go of you, you are wrong. Wrong.
But don't you see this is all in your mind?
In my mind? I have walked past her house.
Of course there is a house in your mind. All this is like myself and the Indians. You wish for excitement, and there is none. So, my poor Sylvie, you make it up, out of your head, that I, your Nicholas, go for rides in a car with another woman. Right, my dear Edna. Tonight you are more lovely than I ever seen you.
Oh, Nick, you're teasing me again.
Listen!
What's the matter, darling?
You hear them? The fire engines.
Oh, that, yes.
I will go to the fire, too.
Nick, you're like a little boy.
You do not mind this?
No, I don't. But a cop would mind the way you're passing red lights.
Oh, for a moment, I think I'm really driving the big truck.
But you're not.
Oh, Nick, there they are. See all the red lights up there?
I see them. Edna, you're excited too.
Oh, who wouldn't be?
It's nothing. They haven't even taken the hose off the hose truck. There's nothing to watch.
Why, Nick, shouldn't you be glad it wasn't much?
Perhaps it was discovered too soon. Oh, yes. I'm glad. Now, let's stop here, near the park. It's a good place to stop, huh, Edna?
Darling. Oh, Nick, I wish I could bring you home with me. But you know how Dad is. He thinks you're too middle-aged for me.
Perhaps I am. No.
Oh, you... Nick, you're wonderful.
And you are more than wonderful. I cannot be without you.
Is this a proposal, Nick? Are you asking me to marry you?
I cannot ask that, my beloved. She's not well. There cannot be a divorce.
I'm sorry, Nick. I guess you'd better take me home.
So, you too are like all the others.
Nick!
The rides, the kisses, but always we must be married. Is love nothing in this country without marriage? Nothing?
Nick, people will hear you.
Oh, so let it be. I'll take you home. Again, I'm rejected. But there will be a day for Nicholas Segadin will come soon.
In heaven's name are you doing in that closet?
Looking for something.
Why didn't you ask me first?
All right, I ask you second. The glass jug, in which came the wine from your father. Where is it?
Right up there on the shelf. I straightened the closet yesterday.
Thank you. You need this rag, Sylvia?
No. What do you want with it?
Always questions.
Oh, Nick. You've been like your old self these past few days. You've been home at night.
I told you once I'm not changed.
What do you want with the jug?
I am cleaning the seats in the car. So I will draw gasoline from the tank into the jug, and with that rug, I will wipe. Very simple, isn't it?
Oh, be careful, won't you, dear?
Careful.
Yes. Gasoline burns and explodes. Be careful.
Yes. I will be careful. Very careful. But like everything in this world, if the gasoline explodes in the proper place, it is all right.
Explodes? Where, Nick? Where?
Where else but in the motor of the car? Where else?
Almost ready to turn out the light, Jen?
I am ready, Edna.
All right, hop her to bed.
Oh, your bed is softer than mine. That's one reason why I like to spend the night at your house.
What's the other reason?
I like to talk in the dark like this.
What about, Jen?
Oh, just anything. It's easy to talk in the dark. That's why I come over. You know, Edna, you're only a few years older than I am, but you know so much more.
I'm flattered. I wish it were true.
Jen! What's that? Through the window. Somebody threw something. It's burning!
Fireman Denny, Truck 25 reporting, Chief. We found a couple of roasts on the first floor.
Whereabouts, Denny?
Room where the fire started. It seems to have been a bedroom, sir. The metal frame of the bed is still recognizable.
Anything on the man in the other bedroom?
Yeah, doctor said it's smoke poisoning and shock. He'll be all right.
Okay. There's a public ambulance coming down from City Hospital. Now have it take the bodies to the morgue. But don't bring them out on the street until the ambulance is here.
Yes, sir.
And notify the dispatcher I'm releasing 22 truck and 74 engine. Well, if it weren't for those two deaths, this might not have been as bad as it looks.
In just a moment, Crime Does Not Pay will continue with Gasoline Cocktail. Now, we continue with Crime Does Not Pay, starring Bela Lugosi as Nick Sagadin in Gasoline Cocktail. Whenever death has been caused by fire, even under the least suspicious circumstances, the fire marshal is joined in his investigation by the district attorney's office and the police. Therefore, the day following the death of Edna Hall and her guest Janice, 3 men checked over the wreckage of what had been the girl's bedroom. Fire Marshal Warren, Assistant District Attorney Morrison, and Detective Stein.
The girls must have been sleeping soundly for it to get so much headway. A neighbor who pulled the box said he heard what sounded like an explosion.
Seen anything of a gas heater or an oil stove?
The building's steam heated.
Oh.
The men on the first truck to respond said it looked like an oil fire to them. Hello.
Find something, Marshal?
What's this look like to you, Morrison?
Piece of glass. Too heavy for a light bulb, but...
What do you think, Stein?
Oh, perfume bottle, maybe. One of those things girls like to have on dressing tables.
It's a mighty big bottle. Look at the curvature of the glass.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Oh, wouldn't the heat of the fire have melted it?
Not without blackening it some. Anyhow, I found this in a corner behind the fire.
Behind it?
In this oven?
Yeah. Notice that corner near where the window was? Barely a smoke mark. Something forced the fire away from there and tossed this glass fragment in there.
Explosion is right, then. Hey, wait a minute. How about this?
Looks like the neck and the handle of a gallon jug.
Saw it a minute ago and passed it up. It's the same glass as the marshal's fragment.
The microscopes will prove that for us. Now, hold it up to light a minute.
Yeah, sure. Here.
There. See those bits of, lint, I guess, on the inside of the bottleneck?
Yeah, they look like it.
One will get you 10, they are. That's how it started, all right. A jug of gasoline with a lighted rag in its neck tossed through the window. Boom.
Molotov cocktail.
What's that, Sam?
I said Molotov cocktail. We use beer bottles against Nazi tanks in the bulge. Same principle. And pretty much the same effect.
We'll try not to be too long, Mr. Hall. In fact, I'm sure the doctors won't permit us to stay more than a few minutes.
That's all right, Mr. Morrison. Anything I can do to help.
We're convinced, Mr. Hall, from various bits of physical and chemical evidence that the fire in your daughter's room began with a gasoline explosion.
Yes, we think it came from outside, Mr. Hall. A gasoline grenade through the window.
From outside? Oh. Then You think it was murder, too?
Do you, Mr. Hall?
It's a grim charge on just my personal dislike of a man.
As someone who had cause to, want your daughter out of the way?
Yes. She thought she was in love with him. I refused to let him in the house. She was meeting him outside. I knew it. Then she found out he was married. She broke it off with him. He was... Well, I didn't like him, that's all.
Do you know his name, Mr. Hall?
Yes, it's Nick Zegedin. He worked where Edna did. You can get his address there.
Yes?
Mrs. Segedin?
I am she.
I'm from the district attorney's office. My name is Morrison. This is Fire Marshal Warren, Detective Stein. May we come in, please? You can see our credentials if you wish.
Oh, no. Come in.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Please, sit down.
We'd like to see your husband. We understand he hasn't been to work for 3 days.
I'd like to see him, too.
When did you see him last, Mrs. Segedin?
3 nights ago. He went out. He did not come back.
Did he do anything funny that night, ma'am?
No, nothing. Just he went out to clean the seats of the car.
With what, Mrs. Segedin?
Oh, with gasoline.
Where'd he get it? The gasoline, I mean.
Oh, from the car. In a glass jug in which we had
right.
wine.
Well, that makes some sense.
What do you think he has done?
We think he killed someone. A girl named Edna Hall. And we think he used the gasoline.
You better tell us where he's gone, ma'am.
I don't know. I knew she was dead. I saw it in the paper. I don't know where he went.
One question, ma'am. Does your husband have any family anywhere in this country?
Yes, an uncle, Joseph, in Miami. But he wouldn't go there.
Thank you, Mrs. Segedin. He might not go there, and then again, he just might. All right, Stein. It looks as if you're going south this year, if only for a day or two.
Well, nice place you've got here, Mr. Segedin. Bet you do a swell business during the season, huh?
Good, not so good. We get along. You see what you like?
You betcha. 5 pounds assorted.
5 pounds we must make up. He's not ready.
Not many 5-pound customers this time of year in Miami, huh?
Not many. You do not mind waiting?
Oh, no. Go to it. What I hear at the hotel, sweet spy Segedin are worth waiting for.
You try a truffle while you wait, yes?
Hey, thanks. Man, that's good. Very good. A service like this we don't get in New York.
You live in New York?
Yeah. My hometown.
I have nephew in New York.
That's so? What's his name? Maybe I know him.
If you do, you know my name. He is Nicholas Segedin, and that is a name nobody forgets. Besides, he moved just last week.
That's so? Where to?
Not far. He writes me postal card say he is tired of New York City. He moved to East Orange, New Jersey. Street with very funny name. Porter Street. 118 Porter Street. Like maybe the street carry his suitcase for him.
It's a very funny name. Funny joke. You got a phone booth here?
Yes, sir. Right behind.
Thanks. While you're finishing up that box, I think I'll make a call. I just remembered. I've got to warn someone about a fellow I know. A fellow who likes to play with matches.
You like the fire in the fireplace, Nicholas.
Very much. Why?
You stare at it so. All day as you watch the fire.
I'm lucky, Lena. When I rented the room from your mother, I didn't expect that her daughter and the parlor, fireplace, and all were included.
Nicholas, you make fun of me.
I should say not. But of course not.
Then the log falls so it always makes me jump.
Time for another log, isn't it?
No, it is too warm in here, Nicholas. You do not need another log. The fire will be too high.
Fires are never too high, Lena. Watch the flames. See? It's like a dance. So light, so graceful. But such power, such strength in the flame, Lena, even from a little match. A whole house sometimes from a single little match.
Nicholas, you must not talk like this.
What then? Must I talk about your eyes, your hair, your pink cheeks?
You do make fun of me, Nicholas. I don't know about flames, but I know when someone makes fun of me.
You are a silly one. Come back here.
No, I will go upstairs. I don't like you, Nicholas. I thought I did, but I don't.
What's wrong with me? Lena, my dear.
I don't know. Inside, maybe something is wrong. No, Nicholas, I do not want to sit and talk with you anymore.
They all run away like rabbits, and they don't know why. Tomorrow I find another room. I cannot live with rabbits, but this rabbit will feel my anger. This she will know before very long.
Miss Korsky?
Yes?
Your mother in, Miss Korsky?
No, officer. She's downtown.
May we come in? This is Mr. Morrison, New York District Attorney, and Fire Marshal Warren.
Fire? Yes, you may come in.
Right, gentlemen. All right, Mr. Morrison, you can take it from here.
Thank you. Miss Korsky, is there a roomer here by the name of Nick Segedin?
Nick? Yes, sir.
Is he at home?
Yes, sir. That is, I think so. He has the front room, second floor.
You ever noticed anything, peculiar about this man, miss?
Peculiar? No, only he likes big fires in the fireplace.
Sounds like your man.
Yes. Let's drop in on him.
Right. Which way, miss?
Upstairs. First door on the right.
Thanks, miss.
I wouldn't come any further, gentlemen, if I were you.
All right, take it in. We're here to take you in for arson and the murder of Edna and Janice Hall.
It is easy to say. I have a beer bottle, gentlemen, filled with gasoline, corked with a piece of rag. I have intended it as a parting gift for my landlady and her daughter. The house is full of mice. I find it's a very effective means.
No use, Segedin. We've got you dead to rights, and you know it.
One step more, gentlemen.
Warren.
Look out! Oh, get that bottle, Morrison. All right, I've got it. Nice shooting, officer.
Oh.
All right, it doesn't hurt that much, Segedin. It's only through your shoulder. It'll be fixed up good as new long before you burn for what you've done.
Crime does not pay. Bela Lugosi, who was starred as Nick Segedin in Gasoline Cocktail, will be back with you in just a moment. Now, here in person is Bela Lugosi.
It is perfectly possible that Nick Segedin is more to be pitied than censored. Legally, Nick was sane, and he paid the penalty exacted by society. But society itself bears a large part of Nick's guilt. Nick never found proper training in education. Nick never found the opportunity to release his energies in the right direction. So you see, as always, it comes back to us, the responsible citizens of our community. If we see to it that the roots of crime, the social conditions which breed gangsters and warped people like Nick are removed, we will have taken a long step on the way to a better world for ourselves as well as the criminals. Crime does not pay.
Thank you, Bela Lugosi. Crime Does Not Pay is written by Ira Marion and directed by Marks D. Loeb, with music composed and conducted by John Gart. Technical advisor is Burton B. Curtis. The events, characters, and names used in the story you've just heard are fictitious. Any similarity is purely coincidental.
This I believe. There seems to be something universal about the dreams and aspirations of youth, whether they're dreamed in Brooklyn or Bombay, in Tokyo or in Tehran. Mr. R. Gopalakrishnan is a young Indian attorney who has come to the United States to continue his study of the law. Listen now as he tells about his beliefs and hopes for the future.
When I was younger, I read for inspiration and for training as a lawyer in India the works of great American writers and orators. So, through books, I have long been familiar with the American spirit. But it was only when I came to America a few weeks ago that I was able to see it embodied in flesh and blood. It was then that I came to the full realization that whatever our differences might be, our similarities are much more basic. The same ideas that stirred my blood in the writings of our great poets and philosophers were there in your constitution and in your daily life. There is a song by our Nobel Prize winner, Rabindranath Tagore, which seems to me to express particularly well what you two are striving for. It is from his Gitanjali. In it, he prays for a better and happier world in these memorable words, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken into narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arm towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of death habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom. My Father, let my country awake. I believe that every man should help to build a new world, a far better world, one in which the eternal dignity of man is respected. I believe that it is for all the human race to support anything that is done to work out cooperation on this globe. Perhaps, as an Indian, I tend to look at the broader aspects of the problems which beset mankind. My people have long been concerned with the basic values of human life. My training as a lawyer and my experience here in America have taught me, though, that whether they express them in a Bill of Rights or in a song of prayer, all people have ultimately the same hopes, the same needs, the same fears, and the same dreams. They are all citizens of the same world, and as such, they must learn to cooperate and to work out their problems together. They all want peace, and they want to be respected as human beings. They all want a chance to develop what is unique and vital within themselves. I sincerely believe that a day will soon come when the joy bells will ring again throughout the world, and when all nations will plan and will build in justice, in tradition, and in freedom a house of many mansions where there will be room for all. When I have completed my training here in the United States and go back to India, my native land, to put into practice the things I have learned about your constitution and your system of law, I will also bring back a renewed faith in the ideals of freedom and human brotherhood. And I will bring back the knowledge that these ideals are not contained by national boundaries, but are shared by people everywhere.
They're the beliefs of R. Gopalakrishnan, a young Indian who is studying international law at Harvard University as an exchange student under the provisions of the Smith-Mundt Act. His accent may be Indian, but his beliefs are international.
Calling all detectives. Many people try to get money that isn't coming to them. But I once had a case of a man who tried to refuse $1 million. That is the situation on this page from my casebook. The casebook of Jerry Browning, private detective. It doesn't take a private detective like me, Jerry Browning, to realize that nobody ever gets anything for nothing. I pushed my way through the crowd of reporters camped outside Timothy O'Toole's apartment door.
Hey, Jerry, what are you doing here? Gonna be Timothy's bodyguard now that he's worth $1 million?
I shrugged, didn't answer, because I had no answer. I knocked 3 times as prearranged.
Oh, it's you, Jerry. Okay, come on in.
Timothy O'Toole's apartment was a 3-room cold-water flat on Willow Street, in which he lived with his wife and 2 kids. Until yesterday, Timothy had been an employee of the sanitation department, a garbage collector. Today, he was a millionaire, or so the papers claimed.
Oh, boy, am I glad to see you, Jerry. Sit down. Hey, Agnes, bring me friend Jerry Browning a chair.
I smiled at Timothy's scared-looking, plain little wife. Thanks, Mrs. O'Toole. Now, Timothy, what's this all about? Did your great-uncle in San Diego really leave you $1 million? Timothy didn't answer at once. Finally,
Jerry, the money's really been left me. Except I never had a great-uncle or any other kind of relative in San Diego or any place else. Jerry, they gave $1 million to the wrong man.
The garbage collector was willed $1 million and admitted to me that he had no right to the inheritance. Now, wait a second, Timothy. A great-uncle is kind of a distant relative.
Not that distant, Jerry. My father and mother had no brothers or sisters. I have kids. I have other kids for me to be a great-uncle to.
Timothy, I lost you halfway through, but I get the general idea. Just what is it you want me to do?
Jerry, if it's a mistake, I don't want the money. But if I did have some relative I never heard about, I'd like for you to find that out.
I grinned at him. Okay, Timothy. You're an honest man. I'll go to work on it right away. At the legal offices of Jenkins, Rafferty, Greystock, and McComb, the senior partner told me,
"The inheritance is from Patrick McCarran, Mr. O'Toole's great-uncle on the maternal side, and it's fully in order. In fact, this is Mr. George Quentin, the late Mr. McCarran's general manager."
I shook hands with Quentin, who was big, bluff, and heavily tanned.
Glad to meet you, Mr. Browning. I worked 18 years for old McCarran. Heard him mention a great-nephew many times, always meant to look him up. And no surprise left all his money to him. Had no other relative.
That's fine, Mr. Quentin. But how can you be sure Timothy O'Toole is the great-nephew? Quentin shrugged.
That's lawyer work. Name is right. O'Toole comes from the right town. He's the right age. Lives on Willow Street. Has the right father's and mother's name. That's good enough for me. But, of course, I'm no lawyer.
We kicked it around some more, but it was plain that both Quentin and the lawyer were satisfied that they had the right legatee. The law firm was reputable, the $1 million was real, so... Okay, gentlemen, I guess Timothy O'Toole is just a lucky man. I reported back to Timothy, refused a fee since I hadn't done any real work, congratulated him on his good fortune, warned him not to let anybody swindle him out of his money. It was all I could do without a full-scale investigation, and by now Timothy obviously was beginning to enjoy his wealth. That's all there was to it. Except that about 6 months later, another case took me to California. I finished my job days ahead of schedule, decided to spend some time driving down the coast, enjoying the scenery. That's how I happened to be in a small town north of San Diego, where I picked up the news that a millionaire had recently purchased a mansion. His name was Timothy O'Toole.
Remember me? Sure, I remember you. Jerry Browning. What do you want?
Timothy, that's no way to talk to an old friend. Aren't you going to ask me in?
Well, we've got some fancy friends visiting, and nice seeing you, Jerry. If you're passing by some other time, drop in.
How do you like that? Snubbed by a guy who used to be grateful for a cup of coffee on a cold morning. I turned to leave, and as I did, caught a glimpse of a face at a window. The face of plain little Mrs. O'Toole, as plain as ever, and white with fright. I saw her only for an instant, but that was enough. Instead of heading back home, I went to San Diego. In San Diego, everybody knew about Patrick McCarran. He'd started with a lunch counter, expanded over the years to one of the largest chains of drive-in restaurants in the state. His death had been abrupt, a heart attack brought on by acute indigestion. The assistant district attorney wasn't happy with me.
Mr. Browning, you can't expect us to exhume a body on suspicion such as you've recounted. Mr. O'Toole and his general manager, Quentin, will fight such a request, and, well, frankly, I can't say I blame him.
Look, sir, I have every reason to believe Mr. McCarran was murdered. Poisoned is my guess.
But why? Who had anything to gain? Except O'Toole, who was over 2,000 miles away at the time. No, Mr. Browning, I can't do anything for you. Until and unless you come here with concrete evidence.
I spent the next day watching the O'Toole mansion. Quentin went in and out several times, but neither O'Toole nor his wife ventured outside the grounds. What were they afraid of? They had the money. Nobody could take it away from them. Or could it be taken away? I went back to San Diego, registered at a hotel, and then made some phone calls home. All I wanted to find out was, did George Quentin ever have an opportunity to meet Timothy O'Toole before McCarran had died? I got the answer fast. Quentin had been on a visit to our city the year before McCarran died, spent 2 weeks there, then returned to California. Maybe you don't think that's very concrete evidence, but it was enough to get McCarran's body exhumed.
Gentlemen, this body has enough poison in it to have killed 6 men.
Okay, let's get a warrant for Quentin's arrest. Quentin never did confess, but we convicted him just the same, through the testimony of Timothy O'Toole and his wife. It was a careful, clever murder. Quentin knew that if he made himself legatee of McCarran's will, there'd be suspicion and investigation. So he picked a legatee carefully, somebody 2,000 miles away, a poor, humble guy with approximately the right type of family background, a man who'd love wealth once he became a little accustomed to it, a man who could be controlled thereafter by hinting what the man already knew, that he had no real right to the inheritance. Well, Timothy's back with the sanitation department, but he's a department head now, as befits a man who was once a millionaire. Like I said, you can bet $1 million that easy money is generally the toughest kind to keep. Listen next time to Calling All Detectives, mystery drama, mystery quiz, and a chance for you to match wits with yours truly, Jerry Browning, Private Detective.
Murder at midnight.
Fool! You idiot! I'll fix you. I'll take you back there. A razor. No, don't. I told you not to touch me. Now it's all over. We've played our last performance together.
Midnight, the witching hour when the night is darkest, our fears the strongest, our strength at its lowest ebb. Midnight, when the graves gape open and death strikes. How? You'll learn the answer in just a minute in The Secret of Xr3. And now, Murder at Midnight. Tales of mystery and terror by radio's Masters of the Macabre. Our story by Max Ehrlich is The Secret of Xr3. The death house. A man sits in a tiny cell, his head bowed, waiting for the moment when he will pass from light to eternal shadow. The clock ticks on, but the time is not quite yet. Then footsteps sound in the corridor. The door opens. It's almost time, my son.
Yes, Father. I know.
Is there anything I can do?
No.
Still, I'm glad you've come. Father, look at me. Look at me closely.
Yes?
I frighten you, don't I? I terrify you.
No. No, my son. Nothing frightens me except the evil in men's hearts.
And am I evil?
I don't know, my son.
Oh, Father, just sit down. Let me tell you my story, and then when I've finished, perhaps you can tell me. They call me Gorgo. All my life I've been a little man, only 3 feet high. Perfectly normal in every way, you see, except for my height. Perhaps you saw me down at the Century Theater not so long ago, the vaudeville team of Petrov and Gorgo, acrobats supreme. Petrov was a huge, ape-like man who tossed me through the air like a rubber ball. The audience liked the act. The contrast between the big Petrov and the little Gorgo intrigued and amused them. And on the stage, I laughed and smiled and went through my tricks like a happy little fellow. But in the dressing room, it was different.
I did not like your performance tonight, Gorgo.
But what was wrong with it, Petrov?
You were slow. You landed too heavily. You did not smile enough.
But they liked us, Petrov. You heard them. We got 3 curtain calls.
We should have gotten 5.
Petrov, I did my best. My very best, believe me.
Your best was not good enough, little one. Perhaps you will do better tomorrow if I lock you in your room tonight without supper.
That was Vladimir Petrov, a gorilla of a man and master of my body and soul. How I hated him. How many times I wept in the silence of my room. All my life I had walked in the shadows of bigger people. See, all my life I had looked up instead of straight ahead, endured the stares of the curious and sensed the pity that was in their hearts. And that was why I used to wait in the alley near the stage door between performances, because it was dark there. I loved the dark. It protected me and hid me from those who stared and mocked. One night...
I beg your pardon. You were Gorgo?
Yes?
My name is Dr. Mead. I saw your performance earlier tonight. I was just coming in to see you.
Yes? What about?
Oh, I happen to be an expert in glandular work, particularly in the function of the pituitary or growth gland. I think the results of my recent experiments will interest you.
I don't understand, Dr. Mead.
Did you ever hear of Xr3?
Xr3? No.
Well, it's an extract, a synthetic, I discovered about 2 years ago. In my experiments to date, whenever I injected it into stunted or dwarfed animals, they grew.
They grew?
Yes.
You mean to normal size?
Well, by using controlled doses, yes.
You mean if you could do this with animals, then you could...
I don't know, Gorgo. I think the time has come to try. Except for your size, you were perfectly formed. Just what I've been looking for. I came to ask you if you'd volunteer.
Yes.
You understand, I can't guarantee a thing.
I understand, and that doesn't matter. Dr. Mead, you don't know what it means, even the chance. A chance to grow to normal size. Why,
One thing, though, I must have your written permission.
My permission? Yes, Dr. Mead, I'll give it to you gladly. I'll do anything.
You speak a little hastily, do you not, Gorgo?
Petrov.
Yes, little one. I'm sorry, Dr. Mead. I'm afraid you will have to find someone else for your experiments.
Someone else?
My little friend cannot act as your guinea pig without my consent. You see, I am Gorgo's legal guardian, and I have the papers to prove it.
No, Petrov, no, you've got to give me this chance.
Silence, little fool. As I said, I'm sorry, Doctor, but
My dear sir, if I can make Gorgo grow to normal size...
if you did, what would become of our act? It would be worthless. The people come to see Big Petrov and Little Gorgo.
Do you mean to say, Mr. Petrov, that you would let your vaudeville act stand in the way?
Yes. I spent years building the team of Petrov and Gorgo. Do you think I am going to let you ruin my investment now?
Petrov, please let him do it. You've got to.
Shut up, you little fool, and get inside.
Petrov!
As for you, Doctor, I wouldn't advise you to come around here again.
This was a blow I could not stand. Dr. Meade had opened a prison door for me, and Petrov had slammed it shut again. I resolved then that come what may, I would have my chance. The very idea of the XR3, of becoming a man like other men, made me drunk and gave me daring. One morning, while Petrov was away, I paid a visit to Dr. Meade at his office and begged him to try the experiment, without Petrov's permission.
I'm sorry, Gorgo, but I cannot. The experiment would be very delicate. If anything should happen without your guardian's legal permission...
So I'll run the risk, Dr. Meade. I'll be glad to.
I'm sorry, but it can't be done.
I see. Dr. Meade.
Yes?
Just what does this XR3 look like?
Well, I made it up in capsule form. Here, that whole bottle of the capsules in my desk drawer. As you see, they're green in color.
So those are the magic capsules. Thank you for letting me see them, Doctor. Thank you very much. Late that night, I slipped out of my hotel room and down the fire escape. Keeping in the shadows, I went to Dr. Meade's office and climbed through the grilled bars in the window. It was easy for a man of my size, and when I left, I had the bottle of XR3 capsules in my pocket. Well, that was Saturday night. I took one capsule, and then another. They made me ill, lightheaded. Then I fell into a deep sleep, and then a knock on the door wakened me. Who is it?
Petrov, why are you sleeping so late?
I don't feel well.
My little one does not feel well. That's a pity.
Please, Petrov, I want to sleep.
Very well. Today is Sunday and there is no performance. But tomorrow, my little Gorgo, you had better be in the best of health, understand? Otherwise, I'll see that you really become sick.
After he left, I fell into the deep sleep again. And then something woke me. My muscles ached as though I had been stretched on a rack. It was daylight again. It was Monday. My pajamas seemed uncomfortably tight, and I looked down, and the sleeves only reached my elbows. I stared, and my heart stopped beating. Then I remembered the XR3. Like a drunken man, I staggered over to the mirror, looked. Yes! I had grown. My pajamas were stretched to bursting. I was growing. I was at least 5 feet tall. 5 feet tall! It was almost time for the performance now. Petrov would be coming for me any minute, and I didn't want him to see me. Not yet. So I piled furniture against the door and waited.
All right, Gorgo. Time to go to the theater.
I can't go, Petrov. Not tonight. I'm still sick.
What? You little swine, do you think I'm going to postpone the performance because you're sick? Open the door.
No. Petrov, no. Don't come in. Don't come in.
You little fool. I'll break every bone in your body.
And I heard it turn in a lock. The furniture against the door would only hold for a minute, and I ran to my valise, took out a straight razor, and then, like a frightened animal, I waited.
Keep the door, will you? I'm sure you won't. Now, my little...
Gorgo. In the name of heaven, look. Yes, Petrov. I got it. I stole the XR3, and I took it. Now, you see...
You idiot. Do you realize what you've done? You've ruined the act. You've ruined it, do you hear?
Yes, but I'm a man now. I'm a man, not a dwarf. They won't stare at me now. They won't...
No? That's what you think. If that doctor could make you grow, he can make you small again. Smaller than ever.
No, Petrov, no!
Yes, Gorgo. You've grown, but not so much that I can't handle you. We're going to see him right now.
Petrov, no! Let me alone, for heaven's sake!
Stop it, you! Listen! No! Don't!
I told you to leave me alone. I told you. And now it's all over. We've played our last performance together, Petrov.
A doomed man sitting in the death house pauses in his story, recalling the first time the clock struck 12 for
murder at midnight.
And now here is Gorgo again, continuing his story to the priest in the death house.
I stayed in my hotel room another day and took 2 more XR3 capsules. And when I looked into the mirror that night, I was over 6 feet tall. That was enough. That was all I wanted. Now I would leave the hotel. They'd never know who killed Petrov. They'd be looking for Gorgo, a 3-foot midget. Never suspect me. Yes, I was in the clear. I stripped Petrov, put on his clothes. They were a little tight, but they did well enough. Then I went through the lobby and into the night. The mere experience of walking was exciting, exhilarating, as though I were walking on a high fence. And nobody looked at me twice. The staring eyes were gone. I was normal. First, I had to find a place to live. I passed by a boarding house with a sign, room to let. I rang the bell.
Yeah, what is it? Oh, hello.
Hello. My name is Baker, John Baker. I saw your sign about a room.
Yeah. Well, would you like to see it, big boy?
If you don't mind.
I don't mind a bit. Come in. It's a lovely room. We got a nice class of people. I'm sure you'll like it.
I'm sure I will. But first, Miss...
Devlin. Rhoda Devlin.
Yeah. Miss Devlin, I just wanted to say I've been living in hotels all my life, and I can't give you any references.
Forget it. My mother owns the place, and, well, we're not exactly formal. Besides, you look good to me.
I do?
Yeah. I always did go for big men.
Big?
Yeah.
Oh. And I've always liked pretty girls. This was a dream come true. I was a normal man, and a normal little girl was attracted to me. She was blonde and blue-eyed, and her head came up to my shoulder. A week passed. A week that was beyond my wildest dreams. I took Rhoda out, and we went everywhere. I fell in love with her. Madly in love. She was so small, so delicate. I wanted to protect her always. She had opened up a new and magic world to me, a world of light and love and laughter. And then, one night it happened. I was taking Rhoda home from the movies, and we were passing a billiard parlor, and there were several idlers in front of the place. They began saying things.
Hey, look at the giant. Yeah. How's the weather up there, big boy?
Hey, Charlie, what do you got there, 5 feet?
You wait here, Rhoda. I'll shut their mouth for them. All right. I crack the skull of the next man who opens his mouth.
Please, Johnny, don't bother with them.
Yeah, but they're saying...
I know, but don't mind them. Let's keep walking.
No, I won't.
Please.
Yeah. All right.
Well, what do you know? The big baboon trying to throw his weight around. I
wanted to smash their jeering faces, knock them down. But Rhoda and I walked down to her mother's boarding house, and she was strangely silent as we entered the dimly lit foyer. She hadn't said a single word since we had passed that billiard parlor. I was vaguely disturbed. I took her in my arms, but she pushed me away.
Oh, no, please don't.
What's the matter, baby? Is it what those men at the billiard parlor said?
I don't know. It seems to me you're growing bigger. Right before my eyes.
Growing bigger?
Yeah. I thought at first I was seeing things, but now I know it's true. I know it's crazy. It's crazy, but when we first met, the top of my head reached your shoulders. And now...
Yeah? What about now?
Now it doesn't reach your shoulders anymore. You've grown bigger.
Oh, Rhoda, you don't know what you're saying. This is your imagination.
No, it's true. We better not see each other anymore. I'm afraid of you, John. You're too big now. Good night.
No, Rhoda, listen.
Don't
no, Rhoda,
me.
please.
Go, my arm.
No, not until you hear what I have to say. Rhoda, I love you. Do you hear? I love you, and I'm not going to let you just toss me aside.
Don't get big.
No, stop that screaming. You want to waste a horse. Speed up. Stop it. Stop it. Hey. Stop that screaming. Stop, I say.
You're hurting me. Breathe.
Rhoda. Rhoda. Rhoda! No. Her lifeless body sagged in my arms. I'd forgotten my own strength. And in my fury, I'd strangled her. Like a man in a dream, I lowered her body gently to the floor and then turned to look at my reflection in the full-length mirror in the foyer. Yes, it was true. The pitiless mirror reflected a giant. I'd grown at least 6 inches. The XR3 had continued its work, was making me grow even now. Now I was a freak again. They stared at me again and pitied me. The beautiful, normal world I had so briefly enjoyed came crashing down over my ears. I ran out of the house like a wild man and into the street. Dr. Reed. Yes, I had to see him. At once, I ran to his office, avoiding the well-lit streets, and the light was on. And I prayed that he was in. I knocked on the door.
Yes, what? Good Lord.
Hello, Dr. Meade. You remember me?
Why, no, I can't say that I do.
Look up into my face, Doctor. The features are the same you looked down upon not so long ago.
Go, the midget.
No, Dr. Meade. It's Go the giant now.
So it was you who stole the bottle of XR3 capsules from my desk?
Yes.
And this is the result. This and Petrov's murder.
He deserved to die.
It does not alter the fact that it still was murder.
Dr. Meade! I'm not here to argue law with you. I want you to save me. You've got to stop this growing process.
But how? What can I do?
An antidote. You must have an antidote.
I'm sorry, but I haven't. There just isn't any.
What? No antidote?
Oh, you're lying. I assure you, I'm telling the truth, Colgo. I was interested in making things grow, not making them smaller.
Yeah. Then I'm lost. There's no way out.
I'm sorry.
All my life I was a little man. I wanted to know what it was like to be a big man. Now I am big. Too big. Isn't that amusing, Doctor? Too little and then too big. Like the swing of a pendulum. I wish I were little again. As I knew what to expect then. I was used to that.
Now they'll stare at me again. They'll laugh and jeer at me. Gorgo the giant! Gorgo the giant!
I think we'd better call the police, Gorgo.
Well, Father, that's my story. See, that's why I'm here in the death house. Now, tell me, am I evil?
No, my son. You have been unfortunate, but not evil. You have sinned, yes. But you have been sinned against, too. They're coming for you, Gorgo.
I hear. And I'm glad.
Glad?
Yes, glad. I don't mind dying now. This world, Father, what has it ever meant to me? But there, in the next world, there no man will be strange, and all will be equal. And perhaps there I will find peace.
With firm and measured tread, the man who was first too small and then too big walks down the corridor. And the iron doors along the way rattle and clang like the chiming of the clock when it first struck 12 for
murder at midnight. Remember to be with us again when death walks through the darkness with giant strides and the clocks strike 12 for murder at midnight. The part of Gorgo was played by Carl Swenson, with music by Charles Paul. Murder at Midnight was directed by Anton M. Leader.
This, I believe. Dr. Ralph F. Strabel is the academic dean of Utica College in New York. His work in the public schools and in universities serve as valuable background for his many books on education. Here is the creed of Dr. Strabel.
It is my good fortune to have been born into an economically modest, though highly respectable, intelligent, and spiritual family. However, throughout my childhood I was sensitive about my economic status, especially so when in contact with children from the middle and upper classes with whom I associated. Recognizing my social insecurity, my father at one time said to me, "Always remember, it is not who you are, but what you are which counts, And so long as you build your life on the foundation of ethical values, you will be a good and productive citizen. This simple philosophic gem became the foundation upon which I built my life pattern. A series of attitudes began at once to emerge, which became great driving forces in shaping my destiny. It is these and the attendant beliefs which I wish to discuss. As I look back on my childhood, I understand more fully how I learned to rely upon myself. Early in life, I discovered that those who had a higher socioeconomic status than I seemed to get away to a better start toward successful achievement. However, I also learned that this early advantage soon disappeared if the individuals lacked the other traits and qualities necessary for success. I believe that in free America, the kind of person you are is what is all important. Wealth and lineage, I find, are not essential for the individual who is willing to work and who has a sound interpretation of the meaning and operation of democratic processes. Indeed, I am most grateful for my humble origin. It, with the good advice I received, became a tremendous stimulus to successful adjustment. Being firmly convinced at an early age that it really does not matter who you are, I developed a deep-seated attitude against discrimination in any form. It is incomprehensible for me to understand how one can evaluate human beings in any other way than in terms of their expressed human characteristics. By their works ye shall know them. Shall I accept this Christian concept as a criterion for judging my fellow men, or shall I apply the divisive yardstick of whether or not they may be labeled Protestant or Catholic or Jew or white or black or foreign-born or wealthy or first-generation or fourth-generation Americans? I believe that one who cannot or does not cultivate a genuine attitude of respect for the individual solely as an individual is himself neither free nor democratic. His freedom is denied him because of the emotional blocking of free thinking. He is not democratic because democracy is predicated on the sanctity of the individual, not on his family or his race or his religion or anything else. As one who has been nurtured by spiritual values, I cannot help but be impressed by the dangerous implementation of materialistic values as I look around the world today. I am sure in my own mind that the desperate situation in which we find ourselves today is due almost wholly to our unwillingness to base our everyday relationships with our fellow men upon the values basic to the religions which we profess to accept. I firmly believe that unless and until we learn to substitute a spiritual and ethical philosophy for the materialistic philosophy which has all but destroyed us, there is no hope for the future.
That was Dr. Ralph F. Strabel, an educator whose work is not only known in this country, but also in Berlin, where he was in charge of the German school system right after the war.
All right, Patsy, out you go. This is it.
This is what, Nick?
A studio of magnificent pictures, of which Joseph Stone is the owner and director.
Well, there goes another illusion. I thought movie studios were all bright lights and glamour. This place looks like a stage set for the deserted village.
Well, it's been locked up for the past 10 years or so.
Oh.
That's funny. The gate's locked.
And that's our cue to turn around and go home again. You've got a nice, tasty jewel robbery waiting for you to solve back in town, and you should be working on that, instead of being way out here at the end of nowhere playing around a forgotten movie studio.
I guess I'll have to pick the lock.
Okay, if you must. Patient Patsy will bear with your little game.
This is no game, Patsy.
Why, what do you mean?
The house of Lulu Dore, the star of Stone's new picture, was broken into last night while she was at a dance. She was wearing her jewels, including the famous emeralds. Fortunately, though, nothing was stolen. There we are. All right, Patsy, go ahead.
It's funny there isn't a gatekeeper around.
It does, doesn't it? Well, I guess they haven't got a full staff for the studio, considering they moved back from Hollywood just to do this one show.
Why did they do that, Nick?
Oh, Dore had a run-of-the-pay contract for the show she's doing on Broadway and couldn't go west.
Hey there, where do you think you're going?
Oh, so there is a gateman. I am looking for Mr. Stone's office.
Well, you can't see him.
I'm afraid you don't understand. I'm Nicholas Carter. Mr. Stone's expecting me.
I'm taking my orders from Lieutenant Riley of the Metropolitan Police. He says to admit no one.
Riley?
What's he doing here?
Investigating a murder.
Murder? I thought you said robbery, Nick.
What murder?
Come on, get out of here. I got my orders.
Come on, Patsy. Let's find Riley or Joe Stone.
Hey, you can't do that. Come back here.
It's all right. I'll explain to the police. Hurry, Patsy. Hurry.
What is this, Nick?
So I plan to find out right now. Then I take it this fellow Boyd who's been killed is a fairly unimportant chap, eh, Mr. Stone?
Well, yes. He was just a darn good electrician.
Doesn't seem to be any connection between his murder and the attempted robbery of Miss Doré.
Well, no, there doesn't.
Is Lieutenant Riley here now?
Yes, he's over on stage 5. It's that building over there. Do you want me to come with you?
Yes, I wish you would, Mr. Stone. There may be points I'd like to ask you about.
I'd be glad to help, of course, if I can help.
There's one thing I don't understand, Mr. Stone. You say Boyd was shot in the back with a poisoned arrow from a blowgun. It's an odd weapon. Should be fairly easy to trace.
You don't have to trace it very far, Mr. Carter. The blowgun and the arrow were mine.
Yours?
Yes, you see, 11 years ago, I tried to do a picture about a voodoo witch doctor who used the blowgun in it. I don't suppose you remember the picture, Mr. Carter. It was called The Voodoo Curse.
Oh, yes, I do. You had a bit of trouble over it, I believe.
A bit of trouble. It practically drove me into bankruptcy. I'd imported a real voodoo witch doctor from Haiti, and he put a curse on the whole studio.
Oh, come now, Stone. You don't really believe that.
I don't know what I believe anymore. 11 years ago, we had fires, we had explosions, we had mysterious thefts, we had just about everything. It got so that everybody was scared to work here. I had to close the studio, and now we have a murder.
Why should the witch doctor put a hex on you?
Oh, I had an argument with him, for a salary of some sort. He swore he'd break me, and he almost did. Oh, here, this is stage 5.
Well, Nicholas Carter.
Hi, Riley.
And Patsy.
Hello.
Well, what might you be doing here?
He's come to help you, Lieutenant.
That's very obliging of him, I'm sure. Say, was that a crack?
Why, of course not.
All right, let's get to work. Riley, where was the body found?
Right over there by that door, Nick, where the chalk marks are.
I wonder what he was doing way over here.
He was setting up the stage, as I told you.
But all his equipment's over there, clear across the set. Riley, how was he facing when he died?
He was lying on his face with his head towards that door, Nick.
Shot in the back, wasn't he?
Yep. We figured from the angle of the arrow that the blowgun fella must have been sitting up there on the catwalk when he killed him.
Mr. Stone, what's behind that door that Boyd was heading for?
Well, special electrical equipment, I believe, for special effects.
Would Boyd have known that?
Yes, of course. He worked on this stage years ago. He probably would have remembered.
That's it, then. He was going into that room to see if he could find some special equipment he needed. That accounts for his being way over here.
And you think there was something in there the killer didn't want him to see, Nick?
Right, Riley. Let's go in.
The door's locked, Nick.
Oh, Stone, give me your keys, will you?
Keys? I have no keys for these rooms.
Well, did Boyd have any?
Well, I believe he had borrowed the caretaker's set.
Riley, did you search the corpse?
Of course I did, Nick.
No keys?
No keys.
I can get a locksmith out from the village.
What? You have no duplicates?
Well, the place has been locked up so long. I never expected to come back here. Was trying to sell it, as a matter of fact.
Pick the lock, Nick. This seems to be your day for doing that.
Just what I'm going to do, Patsy.
I'll get you more light.
Oh, he doesn't need light. He can see in the dark, practically.
No, you don't have to see to pick a lock. There. And there. That's it.
Now we'll get a look at what your killer didn't want Boyd to see. Here's the light switch.
Oh, wait. Don't crowd in like that. Uh-huh. Look.
Footprints.
Footprints in the dust. Golly, Nick, there goes your theory. Boyd was here before he was killed and took out whatever it was he wanted. Well, it was a cute theory while it lasted.
Maybe it's still a cute theory, as you call it.
All we have to do now, Nick, is to measure the prints and see if they're Boyd's or not.
They're not.
How do you know?
Yeah, you haven't even seen the body.
These prints were made by leather-soled shoes. Right, Riley?
Well, yeah, you're right, but...
And Boyd was wearing rubber soles.
How do you know he was, Nick?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Stone. Don't all technicians on the sound stage wear rubber-soled shoes to kill any noise that the soundtracks might pick up?
Well, you're right, Carter, they do.
Now, those leather-soled prints mean that it wasn't Boyd, but our friend the murderer who used the keys he took from Boyd to get in here.
They lead to that crate. Let's see what's in it.
No, don't walk on the footprints. We need them as evidence. I'll wager you'll find the crate empty. The murderer didn't just walk over to it, look in, and walk out again. Oh, no. He took away everything he didn't want Boyd or anyone else to find.
You're right, Nick. The crate is empty.
Shall we search the room, Nick?
Well, what's the point in that? If there was anything here, it's gone by now. Murderer seen to that. I wonder what was in this crate. I wonder if...
Help! No!
The poor kid.
What is it, Cotter?
Another murder.
Another... Good Lord.
Can you identify him, Stone?
Why, it's Bill Daly, our camera punk.
Camera punk? What's that?
Oh, it's studio slang for assistant to the cameraman.
You people all run too fast for me. Hey, what's up here?
See for yourself, Riley.
Well, good gosh, another murder. And it looks from his position as if he was just coming out of that door over there.
Oh, that's funny. Both he and Boyd...
Any idea what he was doing around here, Stone?
Yes, I sent him over here myself about an hour ago to look in that warehouse, see if there was any of that old photographic equipment we could remodel and use. Priorities, you know. Daly was very clever at that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's a mean-looking knife he's got sticking in his throat, Nick.
Knife? Good Lord.
Oh, what is it, Mr. Stone?
That knife. It's from that same voodoo picture.
There seem to be a few too many of those old props hanging around. Are there any more?
Yes, there's a complete stock of weapons. Everything we used in that confounded picture.
The voodoo curse?
Yes.
I rather think I'd like to see that film, Stone. Is there a copy of it around here at a place?
Well, as much as we ever shot of it, it was never finished, you know.
Could you run it off for me?
Well, certainly I will. I'll go arrange it now.
Thanks.
Well, Nick, what do you think?
I'm not sure. Any opinions yourself?
Yes. My money's on Stone's doing it.
Stone? Why in the world would he do it?
Well, I don't know. I haven't figured out the reason for it yet. But he acts kind of funny. Nervous, sort of. And he keeps talking about the place maybe being haunted.
Oh, good heavens, Riley. Who wouldn't be nervous with all this murder going around? I know I am.
Well, take the weapons, Nick. They all belong to him.
But other people could have access to them, Riley. After all, Stone hasn't been here for over 10 years. And there's something more important you've overlooked, Riley.
What's that, Nick?
How did Stone manage to throw that knife at Daly while he was with us?
How do I know? We were all so busy looking at that storeroom on the set, he could have sneaked up. By golly, I'll bet that's how he did do it.
Oh, that's Stone beckoning to us. You want to go to see the movies, Riley?
I got better things to do, Nick. I'm going to search this joint.
How about you, Patsy?
Sure thing. But why do you want to see it?
I'm not sure, Patsy. But I've got sort of a hunch that the answer to all our questions lie hidden in that old picture.
Did all movie projectors make this racket 10 years ago?
Most of them, Patsy. Now listen.
You don't believe in our voodoo magic, eh? Well, if you've been here long enough to see some of the things I've seen.
Really, Ross, there's something uncanny about these natives. Call it coincidence if you like.
Who's the woman? Gosh, she's good looking.
That's Lula Doré, the star of the picture Stone's shooting here now.
Don't their voices sound funny and tinny?
Yeah, they certainly do.
Easy enough to scoff when you've just come down from the States. But it is magic. There's no other way to explain some of the things that happen.
Magic? Mumbo-jumbo, you mean? You'll never convince me it's anything else. I suppose this is another of those wild dances.
Now, there's a really good voice. Who is he, Nick?
Now, don't tell me you don't remember him, Patsy. His name was Bart Tyson, great leading man, 10 years back.
Oh, I remember his name, of course.
This is rather better than most of the dances I've seen.
Patsy, I've heard that voice very recently.
The picture must be almost over now, Nick. Have you discovered anything?
I'm not sure yet.
Gosh, they had some pretty fancy photography in those days. I thought all that underwater swimming stuff was comparatively new.
Oh, no. Stone was the first person to use it.
Well, how did they do it? Look at that man swimming. It couldn't be faked.
It isn't. It was taken through some sort of a glass tank.
That native has been underwater for 20 minutes. No human can hold his breath that long.
That's what I've been telling you, Ross. They're magic, these natives. Magic.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
That voice. I've heard it somewhere before myself. I never heard Tyson act before. Hey, don't we see the ending?
No, that's all they made, Patsy. The picture wasn't finished.
Well, did you find out what you wanted to?
I'm not quite sure.
Well, Mr. Carter, did you like the picture?
Oh, very interesting, Stone.
Oh, that Lula Dory certainly is beautiful, isn't she, Mr. Stone? I've never seen her in pictures before. Has she done anything else?
No, nothing. Until now that she's starring in my new show on Broadway.
That's funny. Think with her looks and her voice, she'd be a sensation.
That's what I've always claimed, but, well, she got scared off after all these things happened during the filming of this one, and, well, she's stuck to Broadway ever since. And when Tyson, her leading man, was hurt, she rather felt...
Oh, I was wondering what happened to Tyson. From what I could gather from this show, he should have been a natural for talkies.
Oh, he was. But we had a bad explosion, and his whole face was terribly scarred. That's why we could never finish this picture. He never could act in pictures again.
Oh, what a shame.
Well, Stone, thanks for showing us the film. Mind if we scout around after Riley?
Oh, no, not at all. If you need me, I'll be on stage 3. We're going to start shooting soon.
Good.
It's funny about Doré. She seems to be cropping up in our lives all over the place.
Yes, she does, doesn't she? Patsy, will you find a telephone and get hold of Scubby?
Mm-hmm.
Find out what you can about Bart Tyson and what's happened to him since the accident.
Okay, Nick. Where'll you be?
If I don't see you before, I'll meet you at Stone's office at noon.
Right.
Oh, Nick! Nick Carter!
Oh, Riley. Just looking for you. You found anything yet?
Yeah, we found all the weapons from that voodoo movie. All except the ones we'd already found, that is.
How'd you know you found them all?
Stone had an inventory. We checked on it.
Well, if your theory about Stone's correct, Riley, he could have falsified that inventory.
Well, why should he?
Well, perhaps he had a couple of weapons hidden somewhere and doesn't want us to know anything about them.
Nick, the more I think about it, the less I like that guy.
Find anything else?
No, not a blessed thing.
Search the whole lot, have you?
All but stage 9 over there. That's locked up tighter than a drum. I can't pick locks the way the great Carter does.
Okay, I'll take care of those. Riley, why don't you go on down to stage 3? They're going to start shooting the picture pretty soon, and I'd feel a lot more comfortable if someone were on guard there. We've had enough murders for one day.
I suppose you think this is a gag, having us get all dressed up like merry villagers or something.
It's not a gag, Patsy. It's insurance.
What do you mean?
Just what I said. When we're dressed up in our regular clothes, everybody in the lot knows who we are. But anyone seeing us dressed up like this will think we're actors and never look at us twice.
I never thought I'd live to see the day when people wouldn't stare at Nick Carter, master detective, all dressed up in knee pants.
Quiet. Did you check with Scubby?
Yep. But just as Stone said, Tyson was hurt in that explosion and then just sort of vanished. Hasn't been heard of since.
That takes care of that. Well, here's stage 9. The only place that hasn't been searched either by Riley or me.
What do you expect to find?
I don't know.
It's funny, this door isn't locked. Everything else on the lot has been.
Yes. Riley distinctly said it was locked when he tried it. Well, keep your eyes open. There may be a reason for it being open now.
Golly, it's dark inside here.
Here, take this flashlight.
Okay.
I've got another.
Hey, Nick, look. There's an old makeup table. I wonder what kind of makeup they used in those days.
Patsy, we haven't time to stop for you
Nick,
to look at make.
Look here. Why, this makeup isn't old at all.
What's that?
No, this is the very latest type of movie makeup, and it's all new stuff.
Well, good for you, Patsy. Yes, there's something funny about this.
Definitely, Nick. But this panchromatic makeup wasn't developed until Technicolor came in. They didn't use this type of makeup back in the days when this studio was in use. Somebody must have been here since. And none of the actors are making up way over here.
Right, Patsy. I'll make a detective out of you yet. Now let's see if we can find anything else.
Oh, I'm getting creeps, Nick. I don't like it here.
Patsy, I think we're getting warm. This is one of the first real clues with... Hey. Recognize that?
Wait. Well, that must be the glass tank they used to take that swimming sequence in the voodoo movie.
Right you are. I wonder why they left it half full of water this way.
When they finished taking that scene, they probably just walked off and left it here.
Maybe.
Don't forget they closed this place in a hurry. What are you doing?
Patsy, this water is fresh.
What?
It'd be stale if it had been here 10 years. Stale and smelly.
Hey, I'm beginning to think maybe Stone's right and there is a hex on this place.
Too bad that voodoo picture wasn't in Technicolor. Those colored stones at the bottom of the tank would have showed up beautifully.
They are beautiful, aren't they?
Yes, you bet they... Hey, Patsy.
What?
Look here. Those aren't just colored stones. They're... Douse your lights, Patsy, quick. We've got callers. Duck back here behind this crate.
One us all in the clink this morning with this snooping.
Why the boss always swipes such important rocks? Why didn't he settle for just a small prize?
The men we're
big
after.
Time, that's why. He's got enough dough to pay all the bills until that stuff cools off. And when it's safe to handle, he'll smuggle it out of the country and sell it for plenty.
What's he leave it lying around here for? Hidden in the old equipment.
And now we know why
Who would have
Boyd
ever
was
thought that
killed.
anybody'd ever come back here?
Gosh, when that punk went into that storehouse, I bet he saw the works.
He did. The boss spotted him going in and just had time enough to get that knife and come back and nail him. And the kid was dashing back the stone to spill the beans.
Gee, the boss is sure lucky.
He ain't lucky. He's smart. He had Lippy planted up on that catwalk just in case somebody got an idea to go into that electrician's storeroom. And somebody did. That takes brains to know that.
Well, we better get going, huh, Jake?
Yeah, you start draining the tank so we can get the rocks. I'll get the makeup stuff.
Why is he moving everything out now?
He figures it'll cooled off by now, and with the stuff he's going to lift from that Doré dame this afternoon...
I think I'm going to
he figures he'll
sneeze.
have
Hold it, Patsy.
Who's that?
Hey, look. Over there, Jake. 2 guys. Only come here.
Run for it, Patsy.
Come here.
Run where? Let go of me.
Let her go, you lousy rat.
Get away.
Let her go. You hear me? Let her go. Hey, I'll handle it.
Stop it.
You have that knife.
Hey, take your hands off her.
I gotta get her up. Guess that'll hold him. Gosh, it took 3 of us to knock him cold. He a fighter or something?
Hey, I know him. It's Nick Carter, the Dick.
Nick Carter. Hey. And a good-looking doll.
Well, it's a good thing you called me in time. Now, what are we going to do with them now that we got them, huh? We can't just leave them lying around. Somebody's bound to notice them.
Hey, the fish tank.
Yeah, that's right. We'll throw them in there. Then when they're good and drowned, we'll drain the tank and get them and the other stuff out at the same time.
Good idea, Lippy.
Okay.
Here, Pete. You lift the lid. You shut the girl in, Lippy.
All right.
Jake and I'll dump that Carter guy in.
It'll be a real pleasure to do something like this to a copper.
Yeah. Come on.
Hey, go ahead. Put Carter in first.
Okay, here he goes. Happy swimming, Carter!
Yeah. Now dump the dame in, Jake.
In you go, lady.
That's okay. Hey, listen, guys. Suppose they get out.
We'll see that they don't get out. Stokey.
Huh?
Put the lid down on the tank.
Okay, Jake.
And I'll put this padlock on, and they're safe as if they was in jail.
That's good work. Hey, look, boys, they're coming too.
So what? Who cares now?
Yeah, who cares? Lippy,
huh?
Turn on the water.
Okay. Here she comes, Jake.
Get those 2 baby spots set up there, will you?
That's what you want?
That's better. Now, open number 2 a little more.
Okay.
This is the tape. Ready?
Ready.
Lights. Camera. Right. Action, Miss Dory.
It was when I first opened your letter that I knew at last. As I opened the
No, Lula, darling. Mean what you say. Remember, your lover has returned. Now, this is your big moment. Now, relax. Take it easy. Now, come on. Once more. Right, action? Come on.
It was when I first opened your letter that I knew at last. As I opened the envelope, even before I read the words that you'd written there, I realized that what I'd hoped for so long had at last...
Hey, what's the matter with those lights? Why aren't they...
Turn on those lights. I'm in charge here. There'll be no confusion.
Quiet, everybody. Quiet.
The masked man.
Who are you to tell me I'm the director on this room? This is a hold-up.
A hold-up? Here, you can't pull a hold-up.
Quiet, I said. Quiet if you don't want a bullet in your teeth. Quiet. The man's mad. That's better. Now, nobody will get hurt if you just keep quiet and do as you're told. Turn on that spotlight.
Okay, boss.
That's it. Now, all of you, line up against the wall there. Come on, get moving. I don't want to shoot, but I will if you make me. And shut up.
You can't tell me to shut up.
That order includes you too, Riley.
Right.
Now, don't forget that although you can't see me with this spotlight shining in your eyes, I can see you very clearly. Now, each one of you in turn will step forward and put your valuables on that table in center stage. And don't try to hold out on me or it'll be bad for you. All right. We'll start with the star performer, Miss Lulu Doré. Please, Miss Doré, if you think I can't see you trying to hide behind the drapes over there, you're wrong. You're in this, too. Your jewels, please.
No. No, not my emeralds. Surely you won't...
Surely I will. It's those emeralds I'm particularly interested in. You don't think I care for the little wristwatches and pocketbooks I'm going to get from the rest of these people, do you?
But you can't mean to take my
One
emeralds.
more word out of you and I'll come after them myself. And if I do it... And where you are, Tyson, I've got you covered. Nick Carter!
Nick! Praise be, is that you?
Come and get me, Carter. Watch him, Riley, if you can. Turn the lights on, Patsy.
Right, Nick. Here they are.
There he goes, Nick! I missed him, darn it. Did you see where he went, Nick?
There he goes, Mr. Carter, climbing up the concrete catwalk. Tyson, come down from there or I'll shoot. You haven't got a gun, Nick Carter. Yours is too wet to shoot after your little swim. But I've got my gun. Here.
You missed me, Tyson, but I won't miss you. You may not know it, but my guns are absolutely waterproof.
Oh! Nice work, Coffin. You shot the gun right out of his hand.
And now your gun's gone, Tyson. Come on down.
Yeah? Come up here and get me. You haven't caught me yet. So long.
Oh, look at him run. He should make a misstep or lose his balance up there. He'd fall off and get hurt.
Tyson! Tyson, stop! Stop! Look out, you don't slip there!
Nick! He lost his balance!
Watch out, Tyson!
You say you want us to drop you at headquarters, Riley?
If you will, Nick.
Okay. Your men got the rest of Tyson's gang all right?
They did. They're coming right behind us.
Was Tyson badly hurt from his fall?
No, not much. Just a broken ankle. He'll be all right. All right, that is, until he gets to the electric chair.
Oh, Nick, when I think of how close we came to drowning, I'm scared all over again.
Hey, how did you say you got out of that tank, Nick?
Believe it or not, Lieutenant, he cut a piece of that heavy glass with a diamond in his ring.
Well, what do you know? But look, if it was as easy as all that, well, what took you so long doing it, Nick?
I had to wait until the thugs got out of the room. Then I just cut a nice little circle out of the glass right beside where the padlock was, reached out, and picked the lock. All very simple.
Simple for you, maybe, not for me. And you say you found the jewels Tyson had stolen in the bottom of the tank, eh?
Yes, Riley. What Patsy and I thought were pretty colored stones turned out to be all the jewels Tyson had stolen during the last 10 years, all unmounted and dumped in with the pebbles in the tank.
But what made you first suspect Tyson, Nick?
Well, Patsy, it was his voice first. Remember I told you after we saw him in the movie that I knew I'd heard his voice somewhere very recently?
Oh, so that's why that voice sounded so familiar.
Can you imagine that? A movie star turned crook.
Then there was the fact that Tyson had faded so completely out of sight after his accident. That looked fishy to me. No great star would have let his career be ruined without bringing a suit of some kind. Unless he had some plans of his own.
And from what I learned from Scubby, we realized he never had brought suit.
Yes, and a suit like that would have made all the tabloids.
But how did you know Tyson and the watchman were the same?
I didn't, Patsy. Until you found that makeup kit. That panchromatic makeup is often used to cover scars. And then I remembered the scarred gateman. It fitted. So did his voice, and the fact that he had the only remaining set of keys to the lot. And, of course, he had all the opportunity in the world.
But I bet you didn't realize that the murders were tied up with the robberies. Not until we heard those crooks talking, I mean.
Well, the makeup kit told me that, too. Remember, Patsy, how you always claimed that all those robberies were done by individuals, not a gang?
Yes, but I still don't see
Well,
that.
Tyson was a consummate actor, and he had complete knowledge of makeup. He disguised himself as a different character, I imagine, for each robbery. Evidently, he played his role expertly, since he succeeded in giving the impression that different people were committing the various thefts.
But say, if that makeup was so good, why couldn't he have gone back to the movies instead of turning thief?
Well, Riley, it was good enough for dim lights, but not for the sharp eyes of the camera.
Oh, I see.
Poor fellow. What an end for a great star.
Yes. The explosion probably injured his mind, too.
One more thing, Nick. How did he get to be caretaker?
Oh, I asked Stone that. He said he felt sorry for the man and had given him the job out of kindness.
Oh?
Well, that's all over now.
Except that from now on I'm allergic to water anywhere, except in drinking glasses.
This is another strange experience of Nick Carter, Master Detective, called The Glass Coffin, or Nick Carter and the Mystery of the Voodoo Curse. Another of the curious adventures of Nick Carter, which are brought to you regularly at the same time by WOR Mutual. And now, Nick, will you tell us something about your story for next week?
Well, next week we leave this part of the country and are going out west to the mining districts of Montana.
Did you go too, Patsy?
Yes, I went along. But Nick and Scubby did most of the work and had most of the excitement. I just stayed in the hotel and waited.
Yes, that was the first case that Scubby and I really worked out together.
And before they were through with it, Scubby very nearly went crazy, literally. And Nick just missed being buried alive.
You see, it started out to be a case of robbery, but it ended up with at least 2 murders and more excitement than I've had in a long time.
Well, I hope it's as good as it sounds.
It's better. But more of that next week. So long.
So long, folks. We'll be seeing you.
And so long to you, Nick and Patsy. In the strange adventure you've just heard, Nick Carter was impersonated by Lon Clark, Patsy by Helen Choate. The story was written for Nick Carter by Nancy and Gene Webb. Original music was played by Lew White. The entire production was under the direction of Jock McGregor. Next week at the same time, another curious experience of Nick Carter entitled
The Flying Duck Murders, or Nick Carter and the Mysterious Gold Thieves.
This story is a copyrighted feature of Street and Smith Publications, Incorporated.
My name is Humphrey Davis. I've been playing the part of Lieutenant Riley in tonight's show. Just now, though, I'm speaking as myself. Actors, you know, appear at many war bond rallies. We like to know that what we can do may help in selling more bonds. But after all, selling more war bonds is everyone's business. You can talk to your friends about the Third War Loan Campaign just as any speaker might. You know the reasons why we must buy extra bonds. You know how purchases of extra war bonds back the attack. You know that they're a great investment. And you know that giving up something you were planning to buy for yourself and buying war bonds instead isn't really any sacrifice. And as you think of these things, how about doing more in this Third War Loan yourself? Because you can't do too much for the men who are fighting for us every minute somewhere in the world.
The Return of Nick Carter is produced in the studios of WOR and is broadcast over most of these stations every Monday evening at 9:30 Eastern Wartime. This is Mutual.
This I believe. Ralph Johnson Bunch is director of the Trusteeship Division of the United Nations. He won worldwide acclaim for his negotiation of peace in Palestine when, after the assassination of Count Bernadotte, the situation looked hopeless. Since then, he has continued to uphold his reputation as one of the United Nations' most valuable officials. Now, Dr. Ralph Bunch states his personal beliefs.
I feel more than a little self-conscious about trying to elucidate my personal private creed. For after all, when a person strips down all the way to his innermost beliefs and in public, he stands awfully exposed. Nevertheless, it strikes me as a very useful experience to sit down with oneself and seriously think through one's beliefs and convictions. I recommend it to everyone, without any necessity, however, of crying one's findings aloud from the housetops. The trail of my beliefs and their development leads back to my childhood. I was reared in a deeply religious family. It was a sort of matriarchal clan, ruled over by my maternal grandmother, Nana, a name, incidentally, which I had given her as a tot in trying clumsily to say Grandma. Nana, a strong and devout personality, beloved and respected by all who knew her, guided the family by simple but firm beliefs. Foremost, she believed in God. In worldly matters, she believed that every person, without regard to race or religion, has a virtually sacred right to dignity and respect, that all men are brothers and are entitled to be treated as equals and to enjoy equality of opportunity, that principle, integrity, and self-respect are never to be worn as loose garments. For each of us in that family, these beliefs almost automatically came to be part of our very being. For me, this was particularly so, since Nana became both mother and father to me when in my early youth I lost both parents. In my youth I had what many would consider a poor and hard life, but as I recall it, I was never unhappy. Rather, I enjoyed my youth immensely, for I had been taught how to appreciate and get the most out of very little, and that happiness in any circumstance is primarily a matter of control over one's state of mind. I find that most everything in which I now believe stems from the simple lessons I learned at the knee of Nana. The beliefs I acquired quite unconsciously and unthinkingly in those early years, the lessons on how to approach life and its many problems, have been my unfailing guideposts. Like Nana, I have an implicit belief in a supreme being and a supreme will beyond the ken of mortal man. In this I find both comfort and security. I hold that it is right to believe in oneself, but it is wrong ever to take oneself too seriously. For a keen sense of personal values and that humility which accompanies a balanced perspective are indispensable to congenial adjustment to life in society. In this regard, I love to visit the Grand Canyon and to stand on its rim, not only to marvel at its majestic splendor, but to reflect on how puny indeed is man, individually and collectively, when confronted with nature's awesome grandeur. I believe in the worth and dignity of the individual, and that no man can be happy within himself if he ever surrenders his dignity and self-respect. I have faith in people, in collectively their essential goodness and good sense, granted that there will be individual mavericks on every human range. I believe that men can learn to live together in harmony and peace, in the international community as in domestic communities, and I am unfalteringly devoted, therefore, to the historic effort of the United Nations toward this end. I believe also in looking always on the brighter side of things, in the ability of right somehow ultimately to prevail, in never pressing time or fate, in taking life philosophically and in stride, both the good and the bad, and I've had an ample measure of both. These are some, at least, of my beliefs. They are for me imperative beacons, without which life would be utterly lacking in direction or meaning.
That was Dr. Ralph J. Bunch, an outstanding citizen of America and the world.
And now, Pabst Blue Ribbon presents transcribed Frank Lovejoy in Night Beat.
Hi, this is Randy Stone. I cover the night beat for the Chicago Star. The night is like a woman, I always say, revealing only what she thinks advisable and keeping the rest to herself. And sometimes, out of sheer whimsy, she tosses up a story that's as tough for me to tell as it may be for you to believe. And this is one of them. Full of wispy characters, human shadings that range from a delicate gray to a printer's ink black. Like I say, you may not buy it, but if you do, well, it might do you some good. A whole lot of good. It was late afternoon. It was 5:30 to be exact. The pavement was crowded with weary wage earners jockeying for that quick ride home. A traffic light turned red, and along with 15 other pedestrians, I stopped and glared back at it. Another batch came up from behind and started shoving. You know the way they do. The light blinked, and I started to move. That's how it was that I became aware of the hand in my back pocket. I grabbed for it and whipped around.
Oh,
Julie Bronson.
Randy, I didn't know it was you.
So you didn't know it was me, Julie? I mean, otherwise it's okay?
Look, Randy,
Yeah, I know. You can explain everything. You felt yourself slipping on a convenient banana peel, so you grabbed for a pocket with a wallet in it.
If you'll listen to me.
My first and strongest impulse is to let the law listen to it.
It's not for myself I'm asking, Randy. Don't turn me in.
Julie Bronson picking pockets. Or has this been a sideline with you all along?
I promised I'd have it for him by tonight.
For him?
Oh, you wouldn't understand. Now, let me go, Randy. I'm in a hurry.
No. You started telling me about why you need money badly enough to do this.
I haven't been working, and I'm hungry. Plain hungry.
You said you promised somebody you'd have it for him tonight.
I was lying. I'm hungry, that's all. Let me go, please.
Oh, you're coming with me.
Are you turning me in?
We'll talk about it after you've had something to eat. Feel better?
I never thought anybody could be as hungry as I was.
Now, last time I saw you, you were making the customers drool at Bernie's Burlicue Club. What happened?
Randy, please, I've got to go. They're waiting for me.
Who's waiting for you? Look, I can't make you out. You're talking to me like you're on cloud nine. Now, what's it all about? What happened to your job at the Burlicue Club?
I quit because of him. Sweating faces looking up at me. Drunken eyes leering at me every time I come out to do a number.
In the entertainment business, I thought that was the goal.
There must be some other way to live. He told me...
He?
I quit. That's all there is to it, Randy.
Is this the same he, the one who's waiting for the money?
I let him down.
Well, this friend of yours, he's quite a paradox. Talks you out of a job, then sends you out to raise $100 picking pockets.
No, Randy. Until last week, I worked in a bakery.
In a bakery? You?
Like he told me.
So what happened with this honest toil of yours?
The boss's wife. She didn't like me.
But the boss did, huh?
Uh-huh.
Even in the bakery.
Randy, I've got to make a phone call.
Oh, your bag.
I'll get it. Oh, let me make my call. I'll come back.
Okay, go ahead.
Randy.
Yeah.
Can I have a dime, please?
Haven't got any change. Here. Get the cashier to break this 10 for me.
I'll make the call and I'll be right back.
I watched her move toward the cashier's counter, and I wondered what had happened to the hip-swinging, hep little showgirl that I'd known. She'd changed. I was framing a set of questions to be put to her when she came out of the phone booth. She paused at the cashier's counter, looked towards me, and then suddenly made a dash out the street door. I went after her, but the theater goers were out in force, and I lost her. So I went back to the restaurant to pay my bill.
Paper out on ya?
Yeah.
I made myself a bet when you took after her. I bet you'd get her.
What's my bill?
$2.14. I laughed on her.
Here you are. Here's your dough.
You didn't do so bad with her.
Okay. I didn't do so bad.
Well, lots of guys would settle for less.
What are you building, a second-act climax?
I mean, you made money on the deal. The waitress picked this up off the floor when she cleared away your table. Her change purse.
Let's see it.
Go on, open it up.
Holy. 20, 40, 60.
Some change, huh?
72, $73.
You see what I mean? One way or another, you come out on top.
Well, that little chiseler. That wide-eyed baby-faced dip.
You're mad? What for? $63 you cleared.
You made yourself a bet on me and lost, huh?
Yeah.
Well, here's your chance to break even.
I'll call you. What is it?
Give yourself 10 to 1 that I find her before midnight. I was sore. A guy doesn't mind being a sucker once in a foolish moment, but it's got to be his own idea. I went campaigning for her. I tried the usual methods first. City directory, telephone books. I even buzzed the police to see if they had anything on her, but there was nothing doing. I went down to Bernie's Burlicue Club, one of those night spots where the words no cover refer strictly to the girls in the chorus. The audience was getting its usual kicks. I swam through the smoke-filled room till I got to the door that took me backstage. The girls were preening for the first show, and I asked for Birdie Blair, one of the club's stellar attractions. The girls pointed to the door that said, "Private, keep out." But knowing Birdie, I knew that sign meant nothing.
Stone, you're a stranger. Sit down.
Well, I was beginning to care too much, Birdie. That's why I stayed away.
Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah.
Now, don't go coining phrases on me, Birdie. I loved you the way you were.
You're in good shape tonight. There's sweet talk on your lips and a fire in your eyes.
Well, it's a different kind of fire, Birdie. I'm trying to locate Julie Bronson.
Oh, that screwball. What do you want her for?
Anybody here got her address?
What do you want her for, Randy?
Well, it isn't social, believe me.
Well, did you try Hoffman's Delicatessen? Most of the girls use Olmax as kind of a forwarding agent when they leave town.
Well, I happen to know that she didn't leave town.
Hey, wait a minute.
Have you, tried her boyfriend?
No. Who's he?
Oh, she was seeing a lot of him before she left here. The girls were giving her the big rib.
Who is he?
That fellow on the corner, you know. Nature Boy. Oh, what's his name?
What, Haddad?
That's the one. Runs the shoe shine stand. They sure were pally.
Oh, you're kidding. Julie and Haddad?
Honest, Randy, it's almost like he hypnotized her. The next thing you know, she quits the job.
Well, perhaps I better go see Svengali.
Well, if you don't find her, I know of a cute little dish who will be glad to substitute. First name, Birdie.
I'll keep it in mind, Bertie. Thanks. Anybody who knows the loop knows Haddad's shoe shine stand. He's been there as long as anyone can remember.
Mr. Stone, the seeker of the truth.
Yeah, that's close enough. I think you can help me.
We are endowed with strengths, but the bidding is thine. From the Quran, Mr. Stone.
What is this, Haddad? A new pitch?
The book says, pause ye and meditate, and grace shall come to you.
Yeah, I know, the Quran, Haddad. You've been seeing a lot of Julie Bronson. I want to reach her in a hurry.
This is the day when they may not speak.
Look, Haddad the scholar and Haddad the reformed. I want Julie's address.
Julie, I cannot help you.
Well, I'm glad you finally came out from behind that cloud of quotations, Haddad. You know where Julie lives?
You seek in vain. What do you want her for?
The police want her, and with or without you, they'll find her.
The police?
They might want to know if you're the guy who sent her out to pick a few pockets.
Julie, poor child. She was desperate. We all are.
Now, do you help me, or do I call the police?
Wait. It is said, for him who gives alms, we will send him easily to ease.
Oh, so that's it. Well, you were a long time getting there. Here's a buck.
But as for him who is niggardly, we will lead him easily to difficulty. $10, Mr. Stone.
All right. But it's coming out of Julie's bankroll.
The money
Here.
is not for me, Mr. Stone. It is for another. I accept his money.
Yes, I'm sure. Her address.
1726 East Waterloo. You're taking the police there?
I don't know yet.
Perhaps if you knew the full circumstances, if you knew the reason behind her act, perhaps if I told you about it.
Now, some other time, Haddad. It's Julie I want right now. I couldn't figure him out. There was something different about Haddad, something strange. But tonight, nobody was turning out the way they ought to. East Waterloo was clear across town. $3.65 worth on the taxi meter. When I got there, the people told me there was no Julie Bronson at that address and never had been. I'd been taken again twice in one night. I went back to the shoe shine stand looking for Haddad, and he was gone. I had to start all over again. This time I tried Hoffman's delicatessen.
Hello, Randy. Nice to see you.
Hi, Max. Hi. You look lonesome. Corned beef not moving today?
I'm not lonesome, Randy. I'm thinking.
What is this tonight? Everybody's meditating.
I have found the reason for existence, Randy. An old man like me, and I found it.
This all came to you while you were slicing salami?
Why shouldn't it happen to an old man? Is everything for the young?
Oh, don't tell me you've fallen for a young chick, Max. You got to be careful. Maybe she's after you for your recipe for cheesecake.
You're joking, Randy, when you should be happy for me.
Oh, I'm ecstatic. Who is she?
Contentment is neither a man nor a woman.
You've been talking to Haddad.
He's a fine man. It was he who first met him.
Are you by any chance also collecting for Mr. Him?
They have asked you for money, too?
Oh, this guy, whoever he is, has got himself some racket. There's a shakedown artist I'd like to meet.
Oh, no, you cannot.
So what's his name? This guy with the appetite for money.
This, I don't tell you.
Okay. Well, then tell me, how does Julie Bronson fit into his charmed little circle?
Julie? She, too, has a new concept of life.
Oh, yeah, I've noticed that. It's quite a concept. Includes picking pockets. Julie had it, now you, Max. Everybody with a new concept. This must really be some philosophy. I'm sure the police will want to know more about it.
Police? But you mustn't have her arrested. It was for him.
Do you have her address, Max?
She's blameless. She had to get the money.
Why? Who is this him? What's he got on you people? You've all changed, so I don't recognize any of you.
For him, we need the money.
Oh, brother, I'd like to read some of his copy. Now, for the last time, Max, Julie's address.
Okay, Max, quick. Give me the dough.
Mr. Scarlatti.
Oh, well, comes the dawn.
No cracks, wise guy.
Dickie Scarlatti, so you're the one behind the shakedown.
Shut up, Stone. What'd you tell him, Max?
Nothing, Mr. Scarlatti. Honest, not a thing.
Okay, Max. The money. Make it snappy.
The oil protection racket's starting up all over again. Is that it, Scarlatti?
There's no time for conversation, Stone. I said shut up.
We return in just a moment to Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone. Breezy, easygoing summer days. Oh, they're wonderful. You and your friends barbecuing in a backyard, picnicking at the park, enjoying small, homey gatherings. And always, close at hand, you'll want smooth, sociable, satisfying Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. A tall, cool, foaming glass to refresh your moments of relaxation, to quench your warm weather thirst. Pabst Blue Ribbon to make good foods like these taste better. Listen.
Here's a list of foods to choose for picnics, parties, barbecues.
Campbell's Pork and Beans.
Farmer's Treat.
Borden's Cheese.
Ritz Crackers. Swiss Frankfurters. And, of course, Pabst Blue Ribbon.
You'll find that food tastes better by far if you serve them with foaming PBR.
What'll you have?
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
What'll you have?
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
What'll you have?
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Pabst Blue Ribbon beer.
Smoother, smoother, smoother flavor. Finer beer that millions favor. Taste that smoother, smoother flavor.
Pabst Blue Ribbon beer.
Tomorrow, be sure to pick up several convenient Pabst Blue Ribbon Handy 6 cartons, packed with 6 space-saving cans. Or get the money-saving case of 24. Any way you buy it, it's always the same smooth, delicious Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. Act 2 of Night Beat will continue after a brief pause for station identification. And now back to Night Beat and Randy Stone.
Julie Bronson had gone out to raise some money in a hurry, even if it meant picking pockets. No matter how, she had to have the dough. And now I thought I knew why. Dick Scarlatti, gunman, junior grade, mobster, heister, codman, and past master of the old protection shakedown racket. The payoff. This one, though, this was something original. You know, this is really imaginative, Scarlatti. You seem to have added a touch of poetry to the racket.
What do you want, Max?
He's looking for Julie Bronson.
Well, let him go find her someplace else. Go on, take a walk.
He's Randy Stone of the newspaper.
I know who he is. Take the air.
Max, are you shelling out money to this cheap crook?
Please, Randy, no trouble. Here's Julie now.
Well, the elusive Miss Bronson.
Randy, I'm so glad I found you. The man at the restaurant told me you had my money.
Yeah, that's right. $73.
Give it to me quickly.
Well, there's a little account to settle first.
Give it to her, Randy.
No, a few words first. An extemporaneous statement for the press.
$73. That's all you got, Julie?
No, 83, Scarlatti. She took me for 10.
Hand it over, Julie. Got no time.
You saw him, Dick?
Yeah, I left him with the doc.
Doctor, he said there was a chance.
There's a chance.
He'll live, Max. I just know it.
If I could get a word in here, I'd be extremely grateful. Now, what's the idea of going for my wallet when you had more than $70 of your own, Julie?
The money, Julie.
Randy, please, give me the money. I need it now.
Now, you hard of hearing? I asked a question.
There's no time for questions, Stone. How much you got, Max?
$105.
Had I'd only dug up 65. And yours over, Julie.
Randy has it.
Okay. Give it to me.
Hello.
Come on, Stone. I want Julie's money.
I don't believe it is her money.
Yes, Doctor. Yes?
Do you think something's happened?
I don't know.
Yes, Doctor. Yes.
What kind of a bill of goods you sell these people, Scarlatti?
Right away, Doctor.
You going to hand it over, Stone, or do I have to take it?
Something's wrong, Max.
We should go to the hospital right away.
What's the matter?
He asked for us.
The dough, Stone?
Not until I know what this is all about.
I'll close the store, Julie. We'll go.
Take Julie outside, Max.
I want to persuade Mr. Stone to give me the money.
Come, Julie.
Believe me, I don't want to have to argue with you, Stone.
The police get this coin purse, Scarlatti.
I didn't mean it to be this way, Stone. This is one time I really didn't want it to be like this.
Like what?
This!
86 little bells racing through my head woke me up about an hour later. I felt a lump on my head Scarlatti's gun had made. I pulled myself up on my feet, and I felt better. A row of salami swung crazily overhead, and when they all settled down to a conventional vertical, I dragged myself to the telephone and called a cab. 10 minutes later, the cabbie dropped me off in front of Haddad's shoe shine stand. I was a little surprised to find him, but there he was. I'll take that shine now, Haddad.
Mr. Stone, I did not see you come up.
Yeah, otherwise you'd have taken a fast walk, huh?
I'm not working tonight, Mr. Stone. As you see, I'm all dressed up. I'm going someplace.
Now start talking, Haddad. I'm dying to catch up on a few dozen quotations.
I'm not working. I was merely waiting for a friend. If you will excuse me, I go without...
Oh, Scarlatti? I know where he is.
I go now.
Now stick around a couple of minutes, Haddad. I was just about to call the police.
I have done nothing that concerns the police.
Well, aiding and abetting, they call it. You gave me a phony address for Julie to help her get away. Not to mention $10 you made on me for that quotation.
I gave you what information I had. It is not my fault it was false.
Well, maybe the cops would like to know something about your payoff to Scarlatti.
No. That is a private matter.
I'll give you a chance to beat the rat. Julie, Max, and Scarlatti said something about going to a hospital. Now, which one?
I do not know.
You said it too quickly, Haddad. Try it again.
I do not know.
Okay, let's try it a different way. Julie's in trouble. I want to help her.
She is in no trouble. Of that I can assure you.
Well, I want to talk to her. Now, what hospital did she go to?
I do not know. And if you persist in bothering me, I myself will call the police. I'm a citizen.
Okay, chum, you win.
Someday I give you back your money, Mr. Stone. For money is the...
Yeah, I know. It's the root of all evil. I left him standing there and took a quick walk around the corner, and then I crossed the street and did a stakeout in the doorway of a clothing store. Haddad waited for a few minutes and then hailed a cab. I got out into the street and flagged one for myself. We followed Haddad's cab until it stopped at the Baker Street Hospital. Haddad got out and he went inside. I waited a few minutes and went up to the information desk. The nurse directed me to the elevator on the 5th floor. From behind a door near the elevator, I heard voices, and one of them I recognized. Old Man Hoffman. I opened the door and went in. Not one of them looked at me when I closed the door. They were like 4 people in a trance.
Randy?
Yeah, Randy.
I'm glad you're not badly hurt, Randy.
You too, Scarlatti? You're glad that I'm all right?
I didn't want to rough you up, Stone. This is one time I didn't want to.
Yeah, well, it'd be all right with me if you'd like to step out somewhere and see if I can't get even.
Just stay put, Stone.
You followed me here, Mr. Stone. You're clever.
Oh, thank you.
You gotta be quiet in here. The doctor said so. Real quiet.
I'll make no noise, I promise you. In fact, I'm leaving. Come on, Julie, you're going with me.
Oh, no, Randy, I can't leave. Don't you understand?
No, but you are leaving. Now, come on, get up.
I said for you to be quiet. I mean it. See how I mean it?
Well, that's a nice gun, Scarlatti. Goes just right with your personality.
I don't want trouble. You do.
Max, you're the only one I can talk to. How did you come to get mixed up with this gunman?
Oh, no. He's a friend. It was his idea to raise the money for the best doctor in the city.
Raise money for whom? Who's in there?
We have been praying for him. All of us.
I thought I'd forgotten how.
What, Scarlatti? Playing Good Samaritan? Who is it? Who's in there?
His name is Luke.
Luke what?
Just Luke.
What's he got on you people?
The hold of the infinite.
I met him first. One meeting, and my life was changed completely.
It was the same with me.
It sounds like a meeting in a Life Can Be Beautiful society.
One of my regular customers took out his wallet to pay me. A $10 bill fell on the floor. Naturally, I quickly covered it with my foot. The customer walked away, and I bent down to pick up the money.
Then he looked up, and Luke was there.
He stood watching me. His eyes were sad, but a smile was on his lips. He stood there saying nothing. I said to him, "This is my money. I just dropped it." He said nothing.
That is his way. He says nothing. But in his eyes you see terrible truth.
It blinds you.
Had it took the 10 spot back to the customer who dropped it. Chased him half a block.
When I came back, he was still there. Then he said to me, "Prosperous is a man who purifies himself." He walked away, that's all.
Oh, brother, I've heard everything now. Your own guilt, your own reactions made you take that money back, had it?
No, it is not true. I never took it back before.
Okay. Okay, who'll make the next testimonial?
No cracks, wise guy.
Oh, you must not mock Randy. When I met him, I was on my way from the store. I felt old and alone. I stopped in the park for a minute. Mean and bitter thoughts I had for this world.
And this man, Max, all of a sudden he was at your side?
He smiled at me. It was like seeing the sun rise for the first time.
Max thought he wanted a handout. Didn't you, Max?
His clothes were so poor. He didn't speak to me. He just turned around and my eyes followed his. They rested on 2 children playing in the grass. They were squealing with delight. Then his eyes led mine to the flight of a bird across the trees.
Then what?
Nothing. He just said, "You're not alone, Max. All this is yours."
He called you by name, and yet you'd never seen him before?
I swear it, Randy. I speak the truth.
Mr. Scarlotti was the one who found about his illness.
No cracks, Stone, and I'll tell you how it was.
No cracks.
It's 4 a.m., see? I'm coming home. I hear steps behind me. I think, this is it. I whip around quick. He's there. I ask him, what does he want? He shakes his head. I ask him, you hungry? He don't answer. All right, I say, here's a couple of bucks anyway. Give it to somebody. He won't take it.
He didn't say anything?
Not a word. Just walks away. I'm sweating. I couldn't sleep that night for thinking. I've been thinking ever since.
When they brought him here, he asked the hospital to notify Mr. Scarlotti.
We had to have dough. Lots of it.
The money you saw in my purse. It was for him.
You should have told me, Julie.
You wouldn't have believed. You don't now.
Well, how about you, Julie? How did you meet him?
A party, Randy. I was going on a party. Sitting in a cab waiting for a friend. He walked up and looked at me. I got scared and wanted to scream, but nothing would come out of my throat.
And all he said to her was, "Go home, young lady."
And I did. I went home, Randy. See why I thought you wouldn't believe?
Well, it's crazy and it's fantastic, but I'd like to meet him.
He is like a church.
A church? Well, what faith is he?
Faith? Mohammedan, of course.
Oh, he's Catholic. I know he is.
Well, did he say so?
We didn't have to. I could tell.
Oh, no, he's Protestant, just like my folks were.
There was no question in my mind, but he was Jewish.
None of you knows for sure?
Well, I guess not. Funny thing, but we don't know.
And, none of you had ever seen him before or heard of him?
He came to us out of nowhere.
Why are you crying, Julie?
I don't know. I don't know why.
Nurse, he's all right now, nurse?
Is he pulling around?
He's all right now. I can tell by the nurse.
Now, give her a chance to speak. Give her a chance. The worst over, nurse?
He's dead.
And that's it. Now go ahead, lift your eyebrows and smirk. Some of you may even get a belly laugh out of it, but that's the way it was. His name was Luke, and he lived and died right here in Chicago. 4 people can testify to that. He brushed by them in the crowded city and left them all a little richer for it. I could have used some of it myself, but as is usually the case, I happened on the story a little late and just missed out. Who he really was and where he came from, nobody knows. Well, I don't know what it means to you, but as for me, I'm going to church this Sunday. Coffee, boy.
Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy, is produced and directed by Warren Lewis. Tonight's transcribed story was written by Lewis and Russoff, with music by Frank Worth. The part of Julie was played by Betty Moran. Others featured were Lou Krugman, Fritz Feld, Frank Gerstle, and Joan Banks. Listen next week at this time, and every week, as Randy Stone searches through the city for the strange stories waiting for him in the darkness. Night Beat came to you from Hollywood. 9 out of 10 forest fires are caused by carelessness. Hundreds of thousands of acres of woodland are damaged or destroyed by fire every year. So be careful with cigarettes and make sure your campfire is out before you leave it. If you want to use your favorite campsite again, be careful with fire. Let's not set fire to America. This Friday, enjoy music by Montevani on NBC.
This I believe. The wider a man's experience, the deeper, usually, his insight into human nature, including his own. Colonel Ralph K. Strassman of New York City has been a reporter, publisher, soldier, and advertising man. Positions giving only a hint of the exciting life he has led and the varied service he has performed in his multiple careers. He was publisher of Red Book magazine for a quarter of a century. Although he has traveled the globe, contributing to many of the world's leading newspapers, he has never been satisfied with his knowledge, never content with his own ever-widening understanding of people. Against that broad background, listen now to the beliefs important in the life of Colonel Strassman.
I believe in the essential and continuing importance of human beings, to themselves and for others. The whole history of what we call civilization, of art, science, philosophy, literature, and government, is essentially a record of the struggles and efforts of human beings to be themselves, of efforts to express in concrete form the urgings and the powers which are the mysterious ingredients of the human mind and the human soul. Life has taught me that the very fact that we tend to magnify our failures and take our successes for granted is proof of the unique drive within us. I have never learned to accept injustice, suffering, and violence as a normal state of affairs. I believe that more harm is done to individuals and nations through ignorance and stupidity than through active malice and evil design. So I've always felt that the most important thing I can do, in addition to making myself a better person, is to learn to know my fellow man better. I believe that the whole organization of our society is a defense against the inner desolation of the man who has no real contact with, warmth for, and interest in other people. The search for self-understanding and self-realization is based on the need to know oneself through others and to grow through giving and receiving. I have learned that we have the essential values of the useful and rewarding life within ourselves, the seeds of our salvation or the seeds of our destruction, depending on how we use them. They take different forms, but basically, for me, the good life depends upon an inner contentment and adjustment and on trying to make the special contributions which are mine alone toward the common good. For me, this cannot involve any fatuous denial of the obvious evils, sufferings, and hardships which exist. These I will always regard as challenges because they result fundamentally from human stupidity and human malice. I know that I, as a human being, must share the responsibility for them unless I claim to be a plaster saint in a tin heaven. I've often felt tempted, especially in times like these, to assume a material and fatalistic attitude, saying, what can one person do? If we're going to be blown to bits any day now, why not look out for my own comfort in the meantime? Fortunately, I have not yielded to that temptation, because I have been sustained by my firm belief that the mysterious entity we call the individual, or the human personality, never ceases to exist and never loses its identity. This, to me, makes our contributions to the world we live in far more important because of the good or evil we leave behind us. This belief eases for me the pain of loss and the bitterness of disappointment and failure. The man who starts to build and works honestly and well as a member of the great human family will always enjoy the satisfaction of having done his part.
There, the creed of Colonel Ralph K. Strassman, a vice president of the Ward Wheelock Company, an advertising firm, a man who believes in seeing the world as it is and then doing his best to make it better.
This is Diamond Broadcast number 4, called the Rawlins Case. It was broadcast January 26, 1951.
The makers of Camel cigarettes present Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, private detective. More people smoke Camels than any other cigarette.
Yes, Camels are the favorite cigarette of people in all walks of life. Among them are singing stars, actors, announcers, people whose voices are their fortunes, people whose cigarette must be mild.
Make the Camel 30-day test and see how mild a cigarette can be. Puff after puff, pack after pack. See why more people smoke Camels than any other cigarette. Here transcribed is Richard Diamond, private detective, starring Dick Powell.
Diamond Detective Agency. We make homicide pay for $100 a day.
Oh, that's pretty terrible.
Oh, you should catch me on a bad day. Nothing.
Am I going to see you tonight?
Not if you keep turning out the lights.
Who turns out the lights?
Oh, well, what difference does it make? It's fun.
I'll expect you at 8 and you be here.
Honey, of course.
How's business?
Oh, about as dull as 50 miles of dirt road.
We'll have dinner home.
Bless your little pointed head.
And your empty pocketbook.
Uh-oh.
What?
Mr. Diamond?
Yes, sir. Come right in, will you? Pull up an old bank book and have a seat.
Thank you.
Client?
Well, keep a good thought, honey. You may be gorging yourself at 21. Bye.
Bye.
I'd like to hire you, Mr. Diamond.
Well, I'd love every minute of it. I charge $100 a day in expenses.
All right.
He reached for his wallet. While he was counting his money, I was looking at him. This was the biggest man I'd ever seen. I was getting a nosebleed just trying to see over the second button on his vest. He had a pair of shoulders that looked like the mayor should lay a cornerstone for them, and the muscles under his coat stood out like smuggled shot puts.
My name is Collins. I'm B.E. Rawlins, private secretary.
Oh, is that the B.E. Rawlins?
Yes, he's a very wealthy man.
Well, there's an understatement.
He wants to retain you to find his brother, Martin.
He does, huh?
Would you mind coming with me? Mr. Rawlins would like to see you in person.
Well, tell me a little more about Rawlins' brother.
I'd rather let Mr. Rawlins do that himself.
I'd rather hear some of it from you first. I don't want to see Rawlins if I'm going to turn down the job.
Very well. Mr. Rawlins' brother Martin was released from prison 5 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, he sent a letter threatening Mr. Rawlins' life.
Oh, and your boss wants me to find his brother before he makes good the threat. Is that it?
That's it, exactly.
Well, why doesn't he call the police? Show them the letter and get the protection he needs. It'll certainly be a lot cheaper than hiring me.
Mr. Rawlins doesn't want any more bad publicity. There was enough of it when Martin was sent to prison.
And why did Martin get sent to prison?
He embezzled $100,000 from the company funds.
Did Rawlins try to save him?
He was guilty. Mr. Rawlins prosecuted him to the full extent of the law.
Was the money ever recovered?
No.
Goodbye, Mr. Collins.
You won't take the job?
Oh, now you've guessed.
But why? Mr. Rawlins is prepared to pay you handsomely.
Well, I don't doubt it at all, but it's too pat. Martin's killing mad because his brother sent him to prison. Rawlins receives a threatening letter, but won't call in the police, yet he wants Martin found. Why?
I told you. He doesn't want any more bad publicity.
So I take the job and maybe find Martin. Then B.E. Rawlins is a potential killer in the house. What's he going to do? Try and keep his mind off of things by letting him shrink heads in the basement?
Remember, Mr. Diamond, they are still brothers.
So were Cain and Abel.
You mean you think Mr. Rawlins intends to kill his brother, and that's why he wants you to find him?
Well, that's a little crude, but it's certainly a possibility.
That's utterly absurd.
Maybe so, but no one would blame him. You better try Hearthstone of the Death Squad.
Now you're being ridiculous. Mr. Rawlins is a highly respectable businessman. His reputation is spotless.
Well, then this looks like too good a time for him to start getting dirty. Goodbye, Mr. Collins. He got up, started to say something, but changed his mind. He turned and walked to the door, ducking his head as he went out. Someday he was going to forget to duck and take the whole wall along with him. 10 minutes later, I got a phone call. Yeah?
Is a man named Collins in your office?
He was. He just left.
Did you take the job?
Who's this?
If you didn't take the job, you're fortunate. If you did, you'd better catch up on your insurance payments.
Oh, I think so, huh?
I think so. This is a family matter, so leave it that way or you're liable to get yourself killed.
Look, would the Sherlock and me show if I deduced your name was Martin Rawlins? Hello? Hello? When I brushed Collins out of my office with a quick no, I wouldn't have taken the job he'd offered me for a share in Manhattan Island. But when somebody starts threatening me, it's like telling a 5-year-old kid to stay away from the cookie jar. The quickest way to get me to do something is to tell me not to and try pushing me around. I looked up the Rawlins address, and in 20 minutes, my cab pulled up in front of a big old English house that looked like the summer training camp for the U.S. Mint.
Yes? Why, Mr. Diamond.
Tell Mr. Rawlins I want to see him, will you?
Come in. I'm happy you've changed your mind.
Just tell him I want to see him.
He's in the garden. This way, please.
We went through the big house and out through the glass doors into the garden. B.E. Rawlins was sitting in a chair, feeding the birds. He was reaching his late 60s with the sour look of a man who didn't want to. As he threw the breadcrumbs out on the gravel walk, a big diamond on his little finger flashed in the afternoon sun.
Mr. Rawlins?
Huh? Oh, Collins. Who's that with you?
The detective you sent for, Mr. Rawlins?
Oh, yes. Pull up that chair and sit down, young man.
Oh, thank you.
Just feeding you to the birds. Here, Birdie. Been doing it for some time.
Oh, swell.
Well, what are you standing around for, Collins? I want to talk to this detective in private.
Yes, sir. If you need me, I'll be in the library.
I won't need you. Here, you feed the birds for a while. Makes you feel good.
Oh, sure. Here, Birdie. Birdie?
That's fine. What's your name, young man?
Diamond. Richard Diamond. Oh, hey, gotta love that little fella. He's grabbing enough crumbs to stuff a pheasant.
He's the greedy one. Always does that.
Reminds me of some people I know.
Yes. Well, Mr. Diamond, I suppose Collins told you why I wanted to see you?
Yeah, and I can't say I wanted the job at first.
So Collins tells me. What changed your mind?
A phone call. I think it was from your brother, Martin. He told me not to work for you.
And you don't like being intimidated? Good. I think we'll get along, young man.
Tell me, have you got the letter he sent you?
Have it right here. Read it. I'll take over with the birds for a while.
Oh, thanks, sir. My dear brother, I spent 5 years hating you, but I learned a trade. I used it drawing blueprints for your shroud. Signed, Martin. Well, this will never get the Pulitzer Prize.
Martin always did go in for the dramatic. Well, you think you can find him?
Was this the first you've heard from him since he went to prison?
Yes. I will admit the letter has me worried. Aside from the dramatic, Martin has always been a hothead. Since boyhood, he's envied my get up and go. We never got along. It was even too much for my mother. She died very young.
Probably overworked from knitting straitjackets.
Don't be flippant, young man. Well, will you take the job?
$100 a day and all hospital expenses.
Fine. See Collins. He'll take care of the fee.
Now, tell me one more thing. Can you think of anyone who might know where your brother is?
Only one, and I'm not sure if he's even still in New York. He was going with Martin when he was caught. I only met her once, but I will say, if nothing else, my brother showed good taste. Yes, indeed.
Oh, that's nice. What was her name?
Carter. Virginia Carter. Lived someplace in the village, I think, but that was 5 years ago.
All right, thank you. Now, What about your secretary, Collins? Can you trust him?
Collins is above reproach. He's been with me for 15 years. Knows everything about me. Almost a member of the family.
Does he know anything more about Martin?
No more than I do. Now I'm getting tired, and I want to finish feeding my birds. Good day, young man. Here, Birdie. Birdie!
I left the old man sitting with his friends. He'd have one good deed to take along with him anyway. I went back to the glass doors, and the butler showed me the way to the library. But the cupboard was bare. Collins wasn't around. Collins! Collins! The shot had come from the direction of the garden, and I went back out in a hurry.
Mr. Diamond! Mr. Diamond, over here!
What's wrong, Collins?
It's Mr. Rawlins. He's dead.
B.E. Rawlins was sitting in the chair with a bullet hole just over the heart. His head was resting on his chest, and he still held the breadcrumbs in his hand. He seemed to be smiling like he knew he was going to be able to feed the birds for a long time now.
Martin did it.
He did?
I saw the whole thing.
I thought you were supposed to be in the library.
I started out of the library and came around the other way. As I rounded the corner of the house, I saw Martin standing behind that tree. I started to yell, but he fired and climbed over the wall. Mr. Rawlins was dead when I reached him.
Let's call homicide.
Before we continue with Richard Diamond, Private Detective, here are a few words about smoking enjoyment.
Not one single case of throat irritation due to smoking Camels. That's what noted throat specialists reported in a coast-to-coast test of hundreds of people who smoked only Camels for 30 days. That's how mild Camels are.
Make your own 30-day Camel mildness test. Smoke only Camels for 30 days and enjoy the rich, full flavor of Camel's costly tobaccos. And see for yourself how mild Camels are pack after pack. See how well Camels get along with your throat week after week.
Yes, that's the sensible test of cigarette mildness. For only by steady smoking can you judge the day-in, day-out mildness of a cigarette.
Start your own Camel 30-day test today and see how mild, how flavorful, how thoroughly enjoyable a cigarette can be. You'll find out why people say, once a Camel smoker, always a Camel smoker.
How mild, how mild, how mild, how mild, how mild can a cigarette be? Make the Camel 30-day test, and you'll see. Smoke Camels and see.
And now back to Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell.
Hi, Walt. Well, the great private detective. What do you want the police force to do for you now?
Get rid of one of their stupid sergeants?
Now, I don't like... it is? Okay.
Okay, yeah. This is Mr. Collins, Walt. Lieutenant Levinson, Mr. Collins.
Hello, Mr. Collins.
How do you do, Lieutenant?
Yeah, the body's in the garden.
B. Rawlins, huh?
Yeah, big time.
Rawlins Investments.
That's right, Lieutenant.
Any idea who killed him?
But Mr. Collins here says it was Rollins' brother.
That's right, Lieutenant. I saw Martin shoot Mr. Rawlins.
There he is.
Gee, on such a nice day, too.
Isn't Otis a dream?
Oh, such a one.
Well, right over the heart. Otis, you go... What are you doing, Rick?
It was a letter from his brother.
A letter?
Sure, I read it myself. Holy ike, it's gone. We searched the whole garden for the incriminating letter and came up with a big fat zero. Then I remembered something that the old man had told me about Martin. Something about a girl named Virginia Carter. I questioned Collins, but he didn't know her. So I put the old mind to work and became my usual shrewd self. I went back in the library, grabbed a phone book, and found the only Virginia Carter listed. It was a wild, long shot, but I grabbed a cab, and 40 minutes later I was standing in front of her door. When she opened it, I got the quickest scalding in history.
Hello.
Oh, but you have a hard time finding something to wear in July.
You like it? It's French silk.
Love it, love it.
What's on your mind?
Now, Virginia Carter?
Mm-hmm. Now, if you'll stop panting long enough, maybe you'd like to tell me what you want.
Well, I'd like to know about Martin Rawlins.
Oh, I have not seen him in years.
Maybe you've got a picture of him?
I've got lots of pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there is one of Martin someplace.
Well, let's look through the whole flock. I've got lots of time.
Before I let you in, you better tell me your name. I don't want you to steal anything from me.
Baby, if anybody stole something from you, they get their fingers burned off at the elbows.
Mm-hmm. You can come in.
She opened the door and walked ahead of me like she'd just oiled her sacroiliac. She led me into the living room and sat down. The shades were drawn. I had a hard time finding the couch.
Right here.
Oh, wow. Well, how do we look at the pictures with the magic lantern?
I thought maybe you wanted to relax for a minute.
Well, put something in a glass. I'll cool down.
I don't drink. I never keep this stuff around.
Well, that doesn't leave you much of a field. Or what do you major in?
Cigarettes. Have a Camel?
Oh, yes, anytime.
I haven't got a match.
Well, just hold on to it. It'll light up.
I think I better get the pictures. I'll be right back. Just make yourself comfortable.
Mm-hmm. Hoop-de-doo, hoop-de-doo. Ba-da-dee-doo-da-dee-dee-dee. Hoop-de-doo, hoop-de-doo.
I'm sorry to this. If Martin isn't in this pile, I've got lots more. You're not in a hurry, are you?
No, not a bit.
Good. This might run into overtime.
There was one trouble with the setup. Looking at the pictures with her sitting close was like trying to read a mail order catalog in front of a blast furnace. She handed me one picture at a time, describing each guy in the photographs. I've seen draft boards with smaller clienteles. Several times she stopped and looked at one of the pictures like Diamond Jim eyeing a 10-course meal, then passed the guy to me. After 24 photographs, I started thinking she was the reason for the rise in the vitamin market, and I was just going to mention an old snapshot I had of myself when she thumped one of the collection with a polished fingernail.
Martin Rawlins, here he is.
Well, he figured to show up sooner or later. How long ago was this taken?
Well, I could not say exactly, but I'd guess about 6 years.
Well, you should keep a file. How'd you get along with Martin?
All right, I guess. He had money, and he showed me a good time.
What else do you know about him?
He has a brother with a checking account at Fort Knox.
Any unusual habits?
Yes, but they wouldn't help you find him. Oh, yes, he used to play a saxophone.
Hobby?
No, not exactly. He played around town with several other small bands. He was a nut on jazz.
Did he make money at it?
I guess so.
Well, thanks, baby. I'll stop around again sometime and take a look at your parlor.
I'll spin a nice soft web.
Mind if I take Martin with me?
Not if you bring back a picture of yourself.
Maybe I'll just bring my camera. You can take it.
Good. That's why I keep the room so dark. I like to develop things.
I hated to leave, but my hair was on fire. She'd given me one lead. Martin was a musician of a sort, and sometimes he made money at it. I started to cross the street to catch another cab, and I was halfway there when I heard the car. That was an old trick. You drive by fast, open your door, and if anyone is in the way, he winds up with a face full of automobile. I picked myself up and thought about chasing him, but he was so far down the street I couldn't even get the license number. I grabbed a bug-eyed cabbie and had him take me to local 802 of the Musicians' Union. I went in, and a little short guy with a twitch looked up at me from behind a big desk.
Is something I can do for you, Pop?
Bad twitch.
Yeah, too much bop.
Tell me, do you know Martin Rawlins plays the sax?
Has he got a card?
He makes money.
Then if he ain't, he better have.
Now, see if he does, will you? I'm an old friend. I'd like to get in touch with him.
You look like a cop.
And I've got a shiny little badge.
Oh, wait a minute. I'll see what I can find. Cop, huh? Now look what you done. You got me twitching more than ever.
Between twitches, he found what I was looking for. Martin had just renewed his card. It didn't show a home address, but his mail was being sent to one of the swing joints on 52nd Street. I said thanks and left him in the middle of another twitch. I walked out on the sidewalk, looked at the long gray shadows stretching out from the tall buildings. One of them moved and ducked around a corner. I was being followed. Fingers, gonna bother you for a minute?
No, but you can talk to me. Move in, lean on the piano.
Good. You know a Martin Rawlins?
Well, sure, he blows here.
Which one is he?
He's off tonight. Got a phone call and took off.
You know where he lives?
Yeah.
Well, here's 5. Come down and remember the address.
What do you want him for?
Here's another 5. What difference does it make?
Solid. It's got a little pad on 5th Street, 59 East. Now, don't put me on, Dad. You got troubles?
I'm going to ask him.
Crazy. I like your style. And when you got time, drop back and listen to the band.
I don't think I could stand the altitude.
Crazy guy.
I went out fast, and 10 minutes later, I was standing in front of Martin Rawlins' apartment. I tried my knuckles and waited. I tried again and put my ear to the door. I didn't hear it at first because it was so faint. A light scraping sound like rope over wood. I tried the door. I had been right on both counts. It was a rope and it was rubbing on wood. Brother Martin was making the sound effects, but he was doing it the hard way. He was on the other end of the rope, hanging by his neck. He was turning slowly like a weather vane in a soft breeze. The chair was tipped over at his feet, so I picked it up and sat down to think. I started to get up when something in my stomach jumped up and kicked my mind to high gear. I looked up at the dead man, and what I saw threw the suicide theory right out of the window. Sitting in the chair, my head was just on a level with his shoe tops. If he had used the chair to stand on, he would have still needed a ladder just to tie the rope to a beam. I've seen a couple of guys who hanged themselves, but never one who jumped 4 feet in the air to do it. I shoved the chair under him just to make sure. He cleared it by a good foot. I started to think of all the people who had been connected with the case, and the phone rang. I knew Martin would have trouble answering, so I helped him out. Hello?
Hello, Martin.
Well, he's tied up right now.
Who is this?
Well, hello, honey. Still collecting pictures?
Oh.
Hello? Hello? Antisocial.
Well, Mr. Diamond, did you bring your camera?
We'll play spin the bottle some other time. How did you know my name?
What? You gave it to me this afternoon.
You're a bad liar, baby, and look out, I'm coming in.
Now, wait a minute. I'm expecting someone.
Well, if it's who I think it is, you better hide all the rope in the house. Now move it out of the way.
Oh,
You heard from Collins yet?
I don't know what you're talking about. Now get out of here.
Collins, Rollins' secretary, just killed Martin Rollins. He stretched his neck out so far he started looking like an ad in National Geographic.
What?
Yes. He strangled him first, then stood on a chair and hung the body to a rafter.
How do you know Collins did it?
Because he forgot he's a foot taller than most guys. He gave Martin a boost and left him hanging too high.
What's that got to do with me?
Well, I think Collins knew I'd come to you. I think he promised you the moon if you fingered Martin Rollins. He wanted to get Martin, but he wanted someone else to do it for him. He knew old man Rollins would remember you and tell me.
You're crazy.
Oh, well, we'll see. How much did Collins promise you?
He didn't promise me a thing.
You don't think he's going to let you go on breathing when he finds out the lawyer's after him? You're the only hole in his story.
Wait a minute.
He just left Martin waiting for oxygen. He's probably on his way here right now.
He didn't say anything about killing Martin. I want to get out of this mess.
Now, that's better. Tell me everything you can.
Well, he met me about 3 months ago at a party. We started to see each other. One day he told me he was in some kind of trouble and asked me to help, and I said I would. He told me that he had been in a deal with Martin and that Martin had gone to prison for it.
So Martin had come back and wanted his share, is that it?
Yes. He promised me 50.
It all happened in the time it takes you to change your mind. He must have come in through the kitchen and started shooting. She went down like a diver with a bends and died on her face. He was trying for me when I jumped to one side and knocked over the only light burning in the room. He came close, but the flash of his gun gave me his position, and I threw enough lead to start a pipeline. He stumbled back into the kitchen, but he was dragging it. I heard him drop, and I moved in after him. The moonlight slanted down through one of the windows and splashed out on the hard floor. He was lying in it, on his back, like he wanted to get that far anyway. Don't try again, Collins. I still feel like shooting.
Forget it. No reason to kill you now.
Before you close your eyes, tell me something.
Better make it quick.
Why didn't you go out and get Martin Rawlins yourself? Why hire me to find him?
I didn't want anyone to know I was looking. You were the alibi. With Rawlins dead and Martin a suicide, you'd swear Martin killed the old man.
Because Rawlins showed me the letter? You forged it?
Yes. Yes, I shot Rawlins and took the letter.
And you planted that phony call to my office.
Yes.
Well, you nearly got away with it, Collins. You just forgot how tall you were when you hanged Martin. I thought sure Martin was the one who was trying to run me down.
I'm a rotten driver.
How bad is it?
You must have been a good cop. I caught all three. It should be raining out. Too nice a night to die.
Not a cloud in the sky.
Must be nice to look at. No. Keep standing up. You'll never see it from down here.
Dick Powell will return in just a minute. What cigarette do you smoke, Doctor? That question was asked of doctors in every branch of medicine, doctors in all parts of the country. What cigarette do you smoke, Doctor? The brand named most was Camel. Yes, according to this recent nationwide survey, more doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette. Camel's costly tobaccos are properly aged and expertly blended for your smoking enjoyment. Make the sensible cigarette test. Not just a puff, not just a sniff. Smoke Camels for 30 days and see how mild, how flavorful, how enjoyable a cigarette can be.
How mild, how mild, how mild, how mild, how mild can a cigarette be? Make the Camel 30-day test and you'll see. Smoke Camels and see.
Here's Dick Powell with a special message.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, as a tribute to the men and women who have served our country, the makers of Camel cigarettes send gift cigarettes each week to hospitalized servicemen and veterans. This week, the Camels go to veterans' hospitals, Fayetteville, North Carolina, and Des Moines, Iowa. U.S. Air Force Hospital, Bolling Air Force Base, Washington, D.C., U.S. Naval Hospital, Memphis, Tennessee. Now, until next week, enjoy Camels. I always do.
Tonight's adventure of Richard Diamond, starring Dick Powell, was written by Blake Edwards. Our director is Helen Mack. Featured in tonight's cast were Virginia Gregg as Virginia and Ted Osborne as Rawlins. Tom Tully was Collins, Arthur Q. Bryan is Lieutenant Levinson, and Wilms Herbert Otis.
Men, pack your pipes with Prince Albert. The rich flavor and natural fragrance will tell you why PA is America's largest selling smoking tobacco. Prince Albert's Choice tobacco is specially treated to ensure against tongue bite, and its crimp cut to smoke cool and even. Get Prince Albert. It's the National Joy Smoke. Listen next week for another exciting transcribed adventure of Richard Diamond, starring Dick Powell. This is Your FBI. The official broadcast from the files of the FBI follows immediately. Stay tuned. This program came to you from Hollywood. This is the American Broadcasting Company.
This I believe. Baseball, lest we overlook the fact, did not become our national pastime simply because it can be an exciting game. Its character stems from the men in it, including the one most of us have threatened whimsically on occasion to kill, the umpire. National League umpire Ralph Babe Pinelli has survived all these threatened assaults, and more than the average share of life's hard knocks as well. Does he live by the same rules off the diamond as on it? Here is Babe Pinelli's answer.
An umpire has to make instant decisions. I've learned to call things as I see them. This helps me make a quick reply to such an important and personal question as my belief. My philosophy of life is simple, with a vital driving force. I believe in my God, my family, my country, and baseball. Including baseball may seem out of place in this statement, but I firmly believe that baseball, more than being just a national pastime, is beneficially bound up with American life, certainly with my own. It helped develop me physically as a boy. It taught me teamwork and ability to cooperate with others. Another thing, it taught me to try to play according to the rules of the game. This has helped me throughout life. My parents came to this country from Italy as poor immigrants. I grew up at a time when even a high school education was out of reach. My formal education never went beyond the elementary grades. But the lessons I learned at home, at church, and on the playground have carried me through. I believe firmly in higher education. My son was signed to a baseball contract when he was still in high school, but I insisted on a clause permitting him a full 4-year college course before starting professional ball. I believe that even more important than a college education, though, is the good, solid practical and religious training in the home and at church. My mother taught me a proper scale of values and trained me to live up to them. I still remember the Sandlot game I had to leave before the final inning so I could get on my Sunday suit and be at church in time for confirmation. Experience has proved my belief in the importance of the family. This is where good, useful citizens come from. My wife and I have enjoyed the companionship of some 35 years of married life, and we've had the happiness of seeing our 2 sons grow into manhood and start their own families. We never had the pleasure of having a daughter, but now we happily share 3 granddaughters and 5 grandsons. Our happiness with them is a great consolation and comfort against the older years when many a couple grow lonely. I have found strength and consolation in my church, and I have found peace and help in humble daily prayer when I praise God for His goodness and ask Him to forgive me my trespasses as I forgive others, and beg His blessings for myself and my family and friends. So these are the things I believe in. My God, who has given me a personal destiny and who deserves all praise and service. My family, who have given me happiness and strength. My country, which has given me every opportunity to live my life according to my conscience. And baseball, which has given me healthy recreation and solid training for life. This is my theology and philosophy of life.
That was Babe Pinelli, Major League Baseball umpire, who lives in San Francisco when he isn't working games in the national circuit. Wherever he is, he has, as we've just heard, a real creed to live by.
Mr. District Attorney, starring David Bryan. Mr. District Attorney, champion of the people, defender of truth, guardian of our fundamental rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
And it shall be my duty as district attorney not only to prosecute to the limit of the law all persons accused of crimes perpetrated within this county, but to defend with equal vigor the rights and privileges of all its citizens. This is David Bryan. In a moment, we'll bring you another case from the files of Mr. District Attorney. But first, a word from our sponsor.
And now, here is our star, David Bryan, as Paul Garrett, Mr. District Attorney.
A district attorney pays special attention to crimes committed by juveniles, no matter how petty, because the incorrigible minority of the teenagers of today will include the major criminals of tomorrow. There are even a few who don't wait until tomorrow. This case started with a gang fight at night in a public park.
Give it to him. Get those three headed for the pond. They asked for it. High school picnic. I told them this park was closed except for my gang. You're nice boys from the high school. Look at him run.
The fight? You cut all the sticks and bottles.
Get that one, Eddie. Kick his teeth out.
Police are coming.
All right, guys, get lost. Meet at the clubhouse later. Come on.
I hope they get caught. I hope the cops catch them and put them in jail.
Shut up. Through the bushes and up the hilltop.
I don't have to run. I didn't do anything.
You're my girl, and if I run, you run.
I don't want to be your girl anymore.
No, you want to go back to nice little Walter and his nice little picnic. You'll be my girl as long as I want you to. Cut up the old path behind the zoo.
Don't push me.
Go on before
Leave
I...
her alone.
Who's that? Never mind. Just leave her alone.
Walter.
Well, if it ain't Brainy himself. The president of the GO. I was wondering where you run to, Yellow Belly.
I ran to call the police. That's where I ran. Your gang with baseball bats and broken bottles.
Oh, that ain't fair, is it? Maybe next time we'll bring a platform and have a debate instead.
Come on, Julie. I'll take you home.
On the trolley car? Get wise. She likes automobiles, don't you, honey?
I'm going with Walter.
Oh, no, you're not.
You haven't got your gang with you now, Jackie.
Well, isn't the little man getting brave? I don't need the gang for you, Brainy. Now, well, I got this.
Walter, it's a knife.
Look at him, Julie. Look at the big, brave basketball player. Look out, Walter. It's sharp. You might get cut. What's the matter, Yellow Belly? Afraid? Cat got your tongue? Come on, take it away from me. Because if you don't, you know what's going to happen, don't you, Brainy?
You dirty... No! No! You killed him! You killed him!
Shut up! Shut up and get to the car. Run!
You're sure the park has been thoroughly searched, Harry?
Chief, I've even gone over it myself. I've worked with 10 different squads in the past 5 days. There's no sign of the murder weapon. Nothing.
Well, it beats me. None of the high school kids saw it happen.
The main fight was down near the park pond. Now, whoever killed Walter Spicer got him off someplace alone up behind the zoo.
This will probably be Spicer's parents calling again. Not that I blame them. Almost a week and their boy's killer is still at large.
Yep.
Yes, Miss Miller.
There's Mr. Hagen here to see you, Mr. Garrett.
What about?
He doesn't want to tell anyone but you.
Well, you tell him I'm busy. Ask Burton to see him.
He says it's very important, Mr. Garrett.
All right. Send him in.
Well, I guess I've got to get down.
No, stay. If he's a crank, you may be able to help me get him out.
Right in here, Mr. Hagen.
Thank you. Mr. Garrett?
He's Mr. Garrett.
Oh. My name's Jim Hagen, Mr. Garrett.
Well, what can I do for you, Mr. Hagen? It's all right. Mr. Harrington is a member of my staff.
Well, it's about my daughter, Julie. I'm afraid she's in some kind of trouble.
With the law?
I'm not sure. I reckon it must be. Ever since we come here to the city, she's been changing, staying out late, keeping things to herself.
Now, how old is she?
Just 16.
Can't you and your wife exert any authority over her?
Oh, my wife said that Julie needed freedom, that it wouldn't hurt her none. She used to bring her friends to the house, and then she stopped. Ruby, that's my wife, said it was because Julie was ashamed of me. Ruby says one look at me and everybody'd know I used to be a farmer.
Mr. Hagen, this seems to be a family problem. I'd like to help you, but, well, what is it you want me to do?
Oh, I thought maybe you might come to the house, talk to Julie. Might scare her a little, you being the district attorney.
Mr. Hagen, do you know that your daughter is in trouble, or do you just think so?
She's hardly taken a bite of food all week. I've been hearing her crying in her room every night. Then last night...
Go ahead.
Julie was out late. I was setting up waiting for her to come home. Must have been about 1 o'clock, I guess, when she come to the front door with a boy. I heard them talking. She's crying. He's twisting her arm or something, hurting her. Telling her to get hold of her nerves and keep her mouth shut.
About what?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, if the boy struck your daughter, you could prefer charges, but she'd have to sign the complaint. Do you know the boy's name?
She called him Jackie, that's all.
Could you identify him?
It was too dark in the hall for me to see him. Julie never brought her friends in. I'd know his voice, though.
And you have no idea what it is that he might have been telling her to keep quiet about?
No.
Well, you just said no sounded like yes. You said this crying had been going on for about a week. When did it start, exactly?
No, maybe you're right. Maybe I'd better handle this myself.
Hagen, does your daughter go to Central High School?
Yes.
Did your daughter know a boy named Walter Spicer?
She went out with a boy named Walter before she took up with this Jackie I told you about.
She used to go out with Walter Spicer?
Yeah. That's why I came here. That's the night she started crying, the night Walter was killed. But she's a girl. She couldn't have had anything to do with it.
But she might know who did. It's after 3 o'clock. School is out. Will your daughter be home?
Sometimes she comes, sometimes she don't. She'll be home to eat, though, at 6 o'clock.
All right, Mr. Hagen. You can go. We'll be at your home tonight at 6 o'clock.
10 o'clock. Where can she be?
She's run away from home. That's where she can be. I knew she would. I warned him to quit nagging the girl, Mr. Gass. She's old enough to take care of herself, and well, now she's gone because he brought you here.
Your daughter didn't know I was going to be here, Mrs. Hagen. And a 16-year-old girl isn't as self-sufficient as you think.
That may be Miss Miller, Chief.
Well, may I take it?
Go ahead.
Hello.
Mr. Gary?
Oh, yes, Miss Miller.
We finally located Julie Hagen's teacher. The girl wasn't at school at all today.
I see.
You want me to stay here at the office in case there's anything else?
For a while, please. Harrington will give you a lift home later.
If you could give me a ride to Central Avenue, I could take the bus from there.
Well, Harrington goes close to your place, doesn't he?
Yes, I suppose he does. It'll be fine.
Good. We'll see you later. Your daughter never showed up at school today, Mr. Hagen.
Where can she be?
I told you where. She run away.
Did you see her during the day, Mrs. Hagen?
Ruby? No, Ruby didn't see her. Ruby was at the beauty parlor all day. She wouldn't know if Julie did come.
I was only at the beauty parlor for 2 hours. Just 2 hours. We're not living on a farm anymore. I've been a good mother. Wasn't me who drove her away.
Better put out a missing persons report on Harrington.
Right, Chief.
Do you have a recent photograph of your daughter?
In the bedroom.
Well, would you get it, please? We can have telephotos sent to nearby states along with her description.
We'll do anything.
He never understood her. Any more than he ever understood me.
I'm sure he didn't, Mrs. Hagen.
Just want to sit around the house every night. I don't know how I lasted all these years, except for Julie. I was the one who took care of her. I was the one who saw to it that we got away from that dirty old farm so she'd have a chance in life. I wanted her to have all the things I missed. It was all for her.
Oh, I'm sure of that, Mrs. Hagan. Pete will put it on the teletype right away, Chief. Wants the photo as soon as we can get it to him.
Oh, I got it right here.
We'll take it in. Well, there's not much more we can do tonight. If Julie should come home, or if you hear from her, let me know no matter what time it is.
We will, Mr. Garrett. Find her for us, please. Please find her.
We'll do all we can.
I hope you're satisfied, Jim. I hope you're satisfied now.
Oh, Ruby, leave me alone, please.
You'd better try to get some rest, Mr. Hagan. I'm sure Mrs. Hagan will take care of herself. Come on, Harrington.
Well, why don't you stay? We was better off back on the farm. Make some excuses.
Oh, that poor guy. She's got him in a bad way.
I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about the daughter. Let's get this photo in as fast as we can.
There's no need for you to drive me all the way home, Harrington. You can drop me off at the subway station.
This time of night? Chief would eat me alive.
It's out of your way.
Oh, forget
Oh,
it.
please. The station's just ahead on the corner. And
Hey, it's just ahead, all right. Look.
An ambulance.
Yeah, quite a crowd this time of night. Something must have happened down there.
I wonder what it is.
It won't take long to find out. The police car there, too. Come on.
Hey, get back there. We can't go down.
The district attorney's office, officer.
Well, let's see your credentials.
Yeah, there you are. What is it?
Girl got killed under the train just as it pulled into the station.
Oh, she fall or jump?
The motorman on the train said she was pushed.
Pushed?
Well, that's what he says. Said he could see her and the boy on the platform as he came out of the tunnel. And the boy shoved her. Well, he was gone by the time the train stopped.
All right, take me down there.
The lady better wait up here.
Yeah, I guess he's right, Miss Miller. You better go on back and sit in the car.
All right.
Down this way. Train was eastbound. It happened right at the beginning of the platform.
Ah. Wasn't taking any chances on the motorman getting time to slow down and stop. All right. Put it back.
No identification on her.
I know who she is.
Wonder why she was pushed.
She knew too much about that boy who was murdered in the park last night.
Well, she isn't going to be able to tell anybody about it now.
No, she isn't.
This is David Bryan. Before we continue with Mr. District Attorney in the case of the knifing in the park, here is an important message I'd like you to hear.
And now back to David Bryan, starring as Paul Garrett, Mr. District Attorney.
A high school boy had been stabbed to death in the park after a gang fight. A worried father led us to believe that his daughter might know something of the murder. But the girl died violently under the wheels of a subway train before we could find her and question her. Harrington called me to the subway station. I had no choice but to send for the girl's father.
My little girl murdered. Murdered in a city. The city where people hate and kill each other, not like the farm. People live in peace on a farm.
Take it easy, Mr. Hagan. How about letting me drive you home?
Home? Without Julie? Not anymore. There'd be just Ruby and me. Ruby got tired of me a long time ago. Only the girl held us together. She's all I had. Now I got nothing left. Nothing except her picture. Can I get it back?
Yes, he had some blown-up copies made. You can get the original at my office at any time.
Why don't you give him that copy of the blow-up you got in the envelope, Chief?
Oh, yes. Here, Mr. Hagan, I brought it down for identification purposes.
I only had this taken 3 weeks ago at the amusement park. First picture of her in years.
Almost like I knew something was going to happen.
3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Why, Chief?
The blouse the girl was wearing tonight looks like the same one she was wearing in the photograph.
It is the same one.
Mr. Hagen, in the blow-up you have, your daughter's wearing a little pin on her blouse, just over the pocket.
Oh, yeah. She's been wearing it all the time for a few months.
It isn't on the blouse now.
No, she stopped wearing it a couple of days ago. I got it.
With you?
Yeah.
May I see the pin? Thank you.
What is it, Chief? High school club?
No, a boys' club. See the crest and inscription?
Oh, yeah. State Street Tigers. Got a clubhouse at the foot of State Street near the river. Rented an old store, painted the windows black with a tiger head on them.
It was some sort of an organized gang that started that fight in the park.
Those State Street kids are tough, Chief.
What I want to know is, does one of the members go by the name of Jackie?
Yeah. He might have given her the pin.
He also might have pushed her off this platform if she saw him kill Walter Spicer.
Where is that club? I'll find out if he's there. I want to get my hands on him.
The law can handle this, Mr. Hagen. Officer?
Yes, Mr. Garrett?
You got a prowl car?
Yes, sir.
Drive this man home. Then go to the county building. My secretary should be back there by now.
Yes, sir.
Tell her to call Judge Macklin and get a search warrant for the clubhouse of the State Street Tigers.
Right.
After you get it, pick up a squad and meet Harrington and me at the clubhouse.
Yes, sir. Come along, Mr. Hagen.
My girl. Julie.
Well, take my car. It's at the far exit.
What's the idea of the clubhouse search, Chief?
Well, even if there is a boy named Jackie who belongs to the club, we've got nothing but hearsay evidence against him. Circumstantial. We could never convict. His fellow members will probably swear he never knew Julie Hagen.
That pin could prove he did.
No, any member might have given it to her. She might have found it on the street. We've got to prove she knew the Tigers. Find some evidence that she'd been at the club room at one time or another. For a dance, perhaps.
Hey, some of those clubs keep a guest book, Chief.
Oh, that's a possibility. If there is such a book, we've got to find it.
Club room is on the next corner.
Better stop and leave the car here. What time is it?
1:30.
Probably won't be anyone around to disturb us.
Yeah. Boy, Judge Macklin will have a fit when Miss Miller gets him out of bed at this hour to sign a warrant.
She can handle him. Judge is all right.
It's a good thing I gave Miller the ride home. You'd have taken him a different way, and not that she'd have minded.
What do you mean by that?
Chief, sometimes you surprise me.
What?
Oh, here's the place. State Street Tigers.
No lights inside.
You wouldn't see him anyhow with the windows painted over like that.
Oh, I was looking under the door jamb.
Locked. Spring lock. I could probably pick it with a nail file.
Go ahead. The warrant's coming.
I'm a little bit out of practice.
You mean you used to do things like this?
When I was a kid. Well, my mother was forever forgetting her keys. We were locked out of the house more times than we were in it before I learned this little stuff. There you are.
From now on, I want an alibi from you attached to every burglary report we get.
Come on.
You better close it again.
Yeah. I'll leave the lock off. You got any matches?
Yeah.
You should have brought a flashlight.
There's a floor lamp over there.
Yeah, that does it. Well, quite a layout. Furniture, pool table, cue racks, even a telephone on the wall.
Yes. Come here. Take a look at this.
What?
On the wall here, by the phone. Names, phone numbers, scribbled in pencil.
Yeah. Tigers seem to have a lot of girlfriends.
Rusty Denton, Paul Frenchy, Elmwood 41111. Eddie, Marcia called. Fleming, 6589.
No name on this one. Elliot 0261. Bread, lettuce, tomatoes. Some kid wrote down the grocery list. You know, the things
Here. Take a look at this one, Harry.
Jackie Wilkes. Phone Evergreen 6205. Jackie?
Yes. And Evergreen 62050 is Hagen's phone number.
Give us the kid's last name, too. Oh, what a break.
I want a photo of this. We can check the handwriting on every boy in the club and find out who wrote it. He'll have to testify that Jackie Wilkes knew Julie Hagen.
Hey, Chief. There's a car just stopped outside.
It's too soon for the squad. Kill the light.
What? Anybody in here? Dopes leaving the door unlocked. Hey!
Just stand right there, son.
Who are you guys? What are you doing in here?
We're looking for Jackie Wilkes.
Jackie Wilkes? Never heard of him.
Well, that's strange, since his name is written on your clubhouse wall right next to the telephone.
Oh, that stuff. That was here before we rented this joint. We've been meaning to paint it over.
Oh, is that so? How long has the club been here?
Little over a year. You cops or something?
Those numbers have been there over a year?
Yeah, that's right.
That's funny. Because one of those numbers belongs to a girl who has only lived in this city a few months.
A girl named Julie Hagan. She was killed tonight, pushed off a subway platform under a train.
That's too bad.
Motorman on the train saw it happen. He got a fast look at the boy's face. Maybe just good enough to identify him if he sees him in a police lineup. You just parked the car outside, didn't you?
Yeah.
How old are you?
18. I got a license.
Good, because I want to see it.
Sure, you can... What do I have to show it to you for? I didn't do anything.
You know why he wants it, boy. We want to get a look at your name.
Oh. Okay, sure. Take a look at this instead.
Put that gun away, kid.
You killed a girl tonight. Don't make it any worse.
Why would I kill Julie? She was my girl.
Because you also killed Walter Spicer, and Julie saw you do it.
And when you thought you couldn't keep her quiet any longer with your threats, you pushed her under a train.
It was an accident. She tripped.
Did she? What were you doing in a subway when you own a car?
Yeah, Jackie, you hear it? Those are police cars.
Better give yourself up, boy.
Stay back.
Gun or no gun, Junior, here I come.
No, Harrington. Harrington!
Stay away from him.
Do what he says, Chief.
You tell him, Brainy. I'll take your gun, too. All right, mister. Now you douse that light and stay right in front of me. You're going to lead me out of here with one of these guns right in the middle of your back.
Do it, Chief. He's kill crazy.
You can kill me, Jackie, but you can't kill the law. I won't call them off. One of them will get you.
We'll see. Move. Hey, you cops out there.
Who's that?
Jackie Wilkes. And I got one of your big shots with a gun in his back. So listen.
Is that you, Mr. Garrett?
Yes. Don't let him bluff you. Take him.
You try it and the DA is dead. Do what I tell you. Back off across the street. Let me and him get to my car and don't follow us. And if you're thinking of shooting, remember, to hit me, you gotta shoot through him.
Never mind me. Take him.
Mr. Garrett, we can't. He'll be picked up someplace.
He's a killer. He'll hurt somebody else even if I get away. He shot Harrington. He's in here, wounded.
Wounded, but still alive.
What?
I can see you against those lights, Jackie, but you can't see me. I'm behind you. I don't have to shoot through anybody but you.
I've got your gun.
You should have looked for another one.
No!
Get down, Mr. Garrett.
I'll kill all of you!
All right, stop. You all right, Mr. Garrett?
Yes. Harrington.
Here, Chief. Grab him. Radio for an ambulance, Don?
Oh, it's not much. Flesh wound in the side. How about the kid?
He's dead. How old was he, sir?
18.
We had to do what we did, but... a kid?
His age stopped mattering when he pulled the trigger. Kid or no kid. He'd have killed you, me, all of us.
Yes, sir, I know.
You did what you had to do.
Thanks, Mr. Garrett.
Harrington, when you distracted him with that shot from behind, he had your gun. Why did you start carrying a spare?
Ooh, I didn't, Chief.
Oh, but you fired a shot.
Nope.
Well, what was it then?
The electric bulb from the floor lamp. I unscrewed it and threw it on the floor.
Oh, that was clever, Harrington.
You heard what he called me, didn't you, Chief? Brainy.
You just sit still till that ambulance gets here. You'll be all right.
I think it's coming now, Mr. Garrett.
Yes, it is. This is David Bryan. I hope you enjoy this case from the files of Mr. District Attorney. I'll be back in just a moment after this message from our sponsor.
Now, here's the star of Mr. District Attorney, David Bryan, with a word about the program you have just heard.
Death with a gun in his hand was the way Jackie Wilkes chose to avoid trial. The police closed the clubroom of the State Street Tigers, and 6 of its members who were identified as having taken part in the gang raid on the high school picnic group were given prison sentences ranging up to 2 years. But life had ended for Julie Hagan, too. Her parents had taken an interest in her friends. Too late. Now, this is David Bryan inviting you to join us when we present our next case based on the facts of crime from the files of Mr. District Attorney.
Mr. District Attorney was originated by Phillips H. Lord.